Let's get it. 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 Let's get it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day number 3 of the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021 Bangladesh edition, brought to you by Oppo Reno 5. My name is Fixes, of course, joined by Necro. And, well, we've seen some amazing gameplay coming from these lads. However, yesterday was kind of a bit off a tone, considering how teams were playing. You know, a lot of teams were really confused as to how they would approach the final circles. And today, we have teams from different groups playing over here, rather groups A and D. So, Necro, how excited are you?
I mean, as always, I'm always just thrilled to watch Bangladesh just play it, because as we all know, they are really one of the most aggressive players that we've seen in the past, and also just the way they play, just the way they think, how aggressive, and they just want to contest those fights as early as they can, and they just want to get those points in their hand as early as they can, and this is just what I really like about them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're really aggressive, and you know, but I think somewhere down the line they need to understand the fact that they need to survive as well. But considering the fact that we have teams from different groups, like we just mentioned, so a lot of teams will be coming back from the first day who did take a rest yesterday rather, and did analyze what went wrong, and I think they would have definitely worked out upon that. And what are they fighting for, ladies and gentlemen? It's those slots for the PUBG Mobile Pro League. So as you can see, we have 3 slots from the Bangladesh region. Last time around it was the entire South Asian region, but this time you have a dedicated region for the Bangladeshi teams, because we know this region carries that much potential in them.
Exactly, of course. I mean, we have seen them play in the past, and we all know how much potential these guys have. And especially as we talk about the aggressive gameplay, of course, the way these guys play, the play style, and the way these guys think is aggressive. But at the same time, there are some teams who actually try to survive till the end, and they are trying their best to play as passive and as strategic as they can. But at the same time, the team that are playing aggressive, they are definitely being annoying to them and making causing some problem for those teams who are trying to play safe.
They certainly are. And now we've seen teams like Exentric Infinity play out of their minds. I mean, the way they played, and Infernal, Parasite, GX as well. But right now, let's take a look at what's on the line, the money that we all love to talk, and $29,200, amongst which the major chunk will definitely go to the first position, who gets all $3,900. And along with that, the 3 slots for the PMPL is what all these teams are eyeing out for.
Of course, the top 3 teams, I'm definitely excited, a lot more excited than I can definitely throw out by my verbal words, but I'm so excited from just my internal piece is just so exciting. And at the same time, I just want to see how these guys are going to be getting there and which teams are going to be coming out on top, because it's definitely going to be exciting to see them play on the big stage.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it is also a big chance and a big opportunity for them, and they have grinded their way all the way up until here. But now things get really serious, because with every passing day, the number of matches kind of sort of reduce. So let's take a look at how are they gonna, get those money. Of course, have to get those point system. And for the first position, we have 15 points. The winner, of course, getting the 15 points, and so on. So you need to make sure that you are in the top 5 with a decent number of kills. Try to be consistent, because that is what we are talking about all along. Even if you get 7, 8, 9 points per game, you're good to go to qualify for the next stage. That's the regional final. So where you also have different invited teams coming across, and you'll be facing against them. So we've seen all these lads, giving out their best. But sometimes you need to take a notch above that. You need to pass your limits. You need to show what you're made of. And like I've mentioned, we've seen these guys have the kill potential, right? but it's those rotations that they're kind of lacking at. And of course, that comes with experience. A lot of teams are playing their first PMCO right now over here. A lot of teams have the experience of playing the PMPL. So a lot of different things are over there. But now let's take a look at the groups that are in contention today. Teams from Group A, that we have DETONATOR, Soulz OF BD, Log1 Esports, and Exentric Infinity.
Of course, all these teams are definitely one of the best, but as you talked about, they're lacking in rotation and stuff. I mean, one thing I can definitely tell, yeah, these guys are one of the best teams that have came from their region, of course.
Yeah.
And if we talk about the early rotations, yeah, Bangladeshi teams are a little bit aggressive. But at the same time, it's like they like to prioritize the kills more than going for the rotation. Sometimes, yeah, it does make sense. It actually depends on the way your team thinks and like how your general play style is. So it's like we can't really like speak for them. But at the same time, yeah, like they all know what's going on in their mind and in their coach's mind or in their just like IGL's mind, and they are just following their rules.
Yeah, I mean, of course, moving on along, we also have the players of A1 Esports 1952, C Minor, Tawfiq, Sharpex, and Magneto. So this is also one of those teams that has definitely gotten the potential. And CNC Genocide, well, they've just been, kind of Ori. They've just are not finding their place in the big stage, because every single time they've dropped in at different drop locations, and they've had so much trouble. All these teams kind of just pushing them away, and I don't know, man. I mean, how are they going to come back into the lead? Because considering the points that we've seen, let's take a look at the overall rankings as to have a slight idea of what's really going on. And there you have XB Blood Legion. This is one of the teams I am definitely watching out for, because you've got players like Cairo, you've got players like Dominic, and then ERZ, TRZ, of course, will be sitting out, but Exentric Infinity, this is a good chance, if they want to get that first position. But today and for now, all these teams are just, trying to eye out for the top 16, because that is what matters. Top 16 teams are only gonna qualify for the finals.
Exactly. Of course, you were talking about XB Blood Legion. They do have some lethal fraggers on their side. Yeah. But at the same time, yeah, they have the potential of using the M4 in the long range with the 6x scope. We have seen Garo just absolutely destroy everybody who has been in his way, and just spraying down those vehicles, getting those knocked from the vehicle rotations as well. But at the same time, this man has been doing some crazy drive-bys. At the same time, we have seen him do some like absolute insane drive-bys. But as you were talking about, there are a lot more players in other teams also. They have some potential like fraggers in their teams as well. Yeah. So XB Blood Legion is of course going up for a competition.
They've already sort of established or cemented themselves as one of the favorites, considering how they play. This is the team that, the fans really love it, because you're going in, you've got that firepower, you've got that rotation to back you up, you're getting those chickens. It's just not that one-man squad. It has got players, like I mentioned, Dominic and Cairo. You've got Cairo, who really loves to play freely, and there you have Dominic, who kind of provides that support from behind. Both these players racking up the kills, and so that you can say is a complete team, because we've always been talking that in battle royales, if it's a team game, you've got to be as strong as each other. As they say, you're as weak as your weakest link, so you're strong as your weakest link. My apologies there, but yeah. Necro, considering the fact that we've seen a lot of M4, but I'm kind of off about the fact that teams are not really going for the 7.62 chambered weapons. Of course, one of the reasons might just be because of the fact that it takes more space in your backpack. So but in different formats, in different regions, we've seen a lot of players rather going for the barrel. So barrel, if you talk about that particular weapon, it has a very good fire rate and also has that damage backing it up. All you need to do is just control it. And I've seen in the past, Necro, that teams have sort of adapted themselves to kind of control the recoil with the gyro pattern that they have. They're very well versed. So these are those certain mechanical skills that I'm talking about. But if you're talking about guns, what are the guns that you would expect that these teams use today?
I mean, of course, M4 is going to be one of the top picks priorities, without a doubt. But at the same time, I mean, if we take a look, as you were talking about Beryl, of course, yeah, Beryl is good in mid to like a semi-mid range. Yeah. And even in close range, yeah, it can't just decimate people. But at the same time, the way Beryl works, is like it does have that high recoil, but
Yeah.
at the same time, spraying those cars that are going to be rotating from the long range and spraying those barrel 6x sprays is definitely going to be a lot more harder than you have to do with the M4.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you have to master, but where do you use your guns? Of course, in the maps, ladies and gentlemen, let's just take a look at the schedule, which is pretty much standard, you know. We've been doing that across the past 2 days, so it's Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar, and Erangel. We'll be starting, of course, however, in Erangel. So we've seen a lot of, you know, tricky circles, to be honest, in across both the regions. You know, we've been doing Bangladesh, we've been doing Nepal. So let's just head in and see where the circle is going to pan out, where the circle is going to be ending at. Because we've seen a Starbow circle, we've seen a southern circle, we have even seen some central circle towards Pachinki. So yesterday, of course, TRZ walking off with a beautiful victory when the circle just headed off onto its Pachinki. But looking at this current flight path trajectory that we have, so let's see, it's going all the way from hospital towards the military base.
Of course, the plane fly path is definitely a little bit not that good. Not gonna lie, it's not really that like team would not be satisfied with the plane fly path they have gotten. But at the same time, if they want to go target Yasna Polnaya or even Rosehawker School, they're gonna have a long way.
Yeah, they certainly are gonna have a long way. But you know, Soulz of BD. Going for a very, very interesting drop location, you know, onto its the coastal side of the western, southwestern part of Erangel, of course. So they're gonna get a lot of loot because you've got those small compounds. You know, you get a loot, and TRZ, of course, coming back again today. So we can see the players going towards Primorsk. But what I'm really looking out for the contestations, because we've seen these teams going against each other for the first time. So I hope all the teams have done their homework as to which squad drops where and accordingly prepare for the game. Now, talking about the circle, now this is a pretty much standard circle that we are seeing in the current meta, you know. Most of the times we've seen this circles going around Mansion, we've seen circles going around Yasnaya, we've also seen circles going around Shelter, and today I would like to see something happen around the Parero Hills.
Of course. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you take a look at the map over here that we are currently able to see on our screens, there are definitely a lot more teams just like landing next to each other. If you take a look at Novo, there has been some teams just gliding across there, but seems like they are heading towards the compound near Milta. Not definitely going to be going to Milta because one team already is on Milta. So these teams are definitely trying to be as safe as they can, at least as long as they're getting those preferable guns that they want and they are comfortable with using. And of course, yeah. Well, now if you take a look at CNC here, yesterday they haven't been really showing up that great. CNC weren't really in their best, but this time definitely we might expect something going forward for CNC, because we can't just give up some hopes on the team, especially that have been selected in the PMCO.
Yeah, I mean, CNC has completely just been off, and they need to do a lot more than that. You know, they have to get a few chickens to, you know, really have a chance of competing in the finals. So we did see the players of ARS Sinisters being in a place, and you know, they were in the Water City. And right now, we'll have to see what are they up to, because this is, of course, Team Detonator. So Team Detonator has been having a rather shaky start. They've got some good plays, but, you know, they definitely are not at the position that they would want to. So every team, you know, that is after the top 10, they're kind of struggling in the mid-order. They would want to have that sweet top 10 position for themselves, so that they can have that comfort zone to just play around.
Of course, as you were talking about comfort zone, it's definitely going to be a lot more harder to find that comfort zone when you're just competing for such a massive prize pool. It's going to be a lot more harder to find that comfort zone, even in game and even the place where you're playing at, because, of course, your palm's going to be sweaty in the end circles. The pressure is going to build in slowly and slowly. So, yeah, the mentality and the way you think is definitely going to be changing a lot more. At the same time, it's going to be harder for you to actually put those strategies on board and make sure they look really clean, and as well as the people should be understanding them easily. But sometimes if you are under pressure, the strategies might just change at last second, because not always what you're thinking comes true.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty about these battle royales because, you've come with a strategy, you've come with a game plan, and suddenly in the zone does the wonders, You come in and you're like, I'll go to Yasnaya, and then suddenly we see the circle going all the way towards the south. So you have to change your plans according to that. You need to make those early rotations. So that is one of the things that these teams need to still figure out because in the PMCs, of course, it's the minors, but it's still the stepping stone, to glory, to even bigger things to come. But as we are speaking, we have the players of INFE already going against Team Exentric Infinity, and there you go. Already Sahil has been knocked. The second knock comes in, but it's a trade-off, and C-Wine, he's in a whole world of trouble as he has already gone down.
C1 is definitely going to be in a lot more trouble because as we see, INFE is just absolutely decimating everyone in their way. At the same time, they have already gotten those 2 massive knockdowns for them, and already those kills have been confirmed. INFE doesn't seem like they're going to be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, they certainly aren't. And Exentric Infinity, wow, oh my goodness, what a disastrous start. Not what they would have really thought for themselves, because this is a team that was in contention for the top 3 spots, and they were placed third in the in the overall rankings just now, and losing out on 2 of their players so early on, and the remainder of the players are just not here. So now they've got to carry forward, carry themselves inside the circle with just 2 players remaining. Now it makes things a lot more tougher. And we have, been talking about Bangladeshi teams being so aggressive. So if a team, if a region is being so aggressive, you need to make sure, and you need to know the fact that they are going to commit every single time they're going to see you. So those strats where you, kind of decide to split up, and if you do not have, the right cover for your teammates, you're basically done.
Of course, and Exentric Esports does have started with a really terrible spot but at the same time, that's when they actually got punished for separating up from their other teammates, and which is kind of tragic at the same time. But they did try to stick around, if we talk about, but just some situations and certain positions they had to change their fly path in the last second. But if we take a look at IPG4, seems like they're just having a time of their life, just banging up, and at the same time they're just getting those loot in, those juicy loot in, and they all are just absolutely boosted up, just on top of the hill right now. Of course, they're just feeling really good.
I'm really, quite keen to see what Durjoy does out of that M24. We haven't seen a lot of bolt actions, to be honest. Not a lot of heads being popped with that, 8 times or that 6 times. And a lot of teams, are not really going in for those, military drops, right? They've not been going for the care packages, so that's kind of, really tricky. But look at Confuse. He's just spraying along, peppering down those bullets onto its players of A1 Esports, 952 Magneto, and a whole world of trouble. Just that one bullet connecting. And, had he been a bit more precise, had he hit those heads, so could have, changed things around. Had there been 2-3 players more, shooting at a single vehicle, that could have, might as well just blasted off. So, yeah, the players of Team Detonator are kind of spread across, and they're not in the position to take a fight if A1 Esports stop at a good position and then just counter them off. So they need to make sure that you've got those good covers while you're fighting, because that's of absolute importance. And this is one thing, right? Aiming, everyone can do that if they really practice. But positioning, that comes with experience. That comes with relentless playing a lot of matches. So we'll have to see how A1 Esports now retaliates, because now they've gotten the higher ground.
Of course, they do have the higher ground there. But at the same time, if we talk about those were some questionable M4 sprays coming in from him. Didn't really connect any of the shots, only managed to hit him once, which is definitely tragic, because I felt like if he actually managed to hit all of his shots, that could have been one easy knockdown for him, and his team would have definitely gotten that one easy kill point at the same time in the early games that we all know how valuable it can be if you get those kill points early, and this is what Bangladesh region actually realizes and capitalizes on it. At the same time, they try to work their way around it. So getting those kill points early game definitely has a little bit of relief at you in the end game, because you can just sit around and just camp around your compound. You don't really need to go for those kills in the late game. But at the same time, yeah, it does risk your positioning, and it might also eliminate your team early off from the game, which can be a lot more tragic. But yeah, as we talk about, yeah, there are some advantage and disadvantage in both of those sides. So it just depends on how you like to play and your individual gameplay when it comes to your IGL and stuff.
The gods of PUBG Mobile. have answered my prayers. You know, I think the circle's somewhere kind of heading off to the Potato Hills. But look at the players of Team Exentric Infinity. You know, the remainder of the two players are way off in Lipovka and C Minor, having spotted down the players of CNC Genocide. And, you know, their misery sort of continues as Max, he was lost. He did not know where he was going, and he was just taken down right off the bat. Now we've got the remainder of those three players. We've got to see how they are going to, you know, retaliate back. Are they going to fight, or are they going to move away? Because, come on, let's be honest, A1 Esports 952. So this is a team that, you know, is of course the sister team of the coveted, the big A1 Esports that we did see a glimpse of in the GC. They'd really put their hearts out, and that was such a promising team. Now it's the secondary lineup, and they've taken the control over the Potato Hills. Now, Potato Hills carry a lot of importance if you take an early control. You've got those vehicles, you've got those covers backing you up. So now all they have to do is just hold each other. You know, just kind of form a position where you have vision across every side, because you've got all those four players alive. Try to fend off everybody that comes your way and maybe get the chicken.
Of course, indeed, as we talk about the chicken, it's not going to be that easy as you explained, for sure, because they are going to be going up against a massive competition.
They got to play their cards right.
Yep. They have to play their cards right, even if sometimes you play your cards right, even if the opponent just hits like a lucky headshot or even a skill different headshot, it can be a lot more troublesome for both of the teams, or the team that has the hill control, as we were talking about. But at the same time, yeah, they might be lucky as well off holding off the hill. As we talk about that, TRA seems like they are heading towards that hill.
They certainly are. Right now, you know, Team TRA, I mean, they've been in the thick and thins of both. Like if we've been saying, they've had their good days, and they've got their bad matches as well. So this is also a team that will be working on their mistakes, and I really hope they did. Because now XCBAC, they've got that beautiful compound, and Jerry, of course, punishing Sweet Love for making that unwanted movement towards him. And that's a good defense coming from his side. And even, you know, just flatting out his tires, not letting him escape at all. So you can see the players of Log 1 just beside XCBAC. So we've got three teams in contention over here.
Seems like Sweet Love might just be able to get away if he just keeps on crawling towards his teammate. There might be an easy res coming out there. I mean, it doesn't really seem like XC is actually want to finish the kill. They are trying their best to actually find his body. Jerry's just roaming around in the U.S. trying to find Sweet Love, but it doesn't really seem like Sweet Love wants to get caught. Just going to be keeping on crawling all across the way. Jerry should realize at this point that Sweet Love might have just crawled away really far away from him. He's just scouting the area around. Jerry is not really able to find the success, but finally Jerry's going to be finding Sweet Love and just going to be running him over. Sweet Love is Sweet Love must be
that poor man. I mean, he was just struggling, and well, Jerry, he's being completely ruthless over there. You know, no mercy being shown towards the players. So yeah, now Log 1. Now this is an interesting team. So they started off really well, and then they kind of fizzled out. But as you can see, the circle kind of just closing in, and XCBAC are a very good position, you know, right in the epicenter. And a lot of teams have already made their way in. Now IPG for ARC, they I think are going to rotate right now, but it's going to be a difficult entry inside the circle because every single team has taken a good place. And there you go, the second airdrop coming in, Groza, one of my favorites of the care packages that we get.
Of course, mine indeed. Groza is just a shredder. If we talk about it, just absolutely just shreds people and melts people so fast that until they realize they're already down and dead completely and dusted. Of course, how can I forget that word there? But at the same time, let's take a look at Log 1 there. Just doing a little bit of chip damage on the top of the hill. Isn't really spotting anyone, but just giving those suppression shots, making sure they know that Log 1 has that compound there. And no one is going to be contesting that compound because Log 1 already has the control over there. But as we talk about that, INFE Sahil going to be contesting that buggy in their favor. Doesn't really seem like Atomic is going to be able to deal any kind of damage to the buggy. Neither Sahil as well. He's going to be getting out really easily.
Yeah, that he will. But, taking a look at ARZ. So this is a team that, has really impressed us with the way Mamba has been playing. He's been racking up a lot of kills, and along with Whitecat, he's got some experience, backing him up. So they've got that high ground advantage for them. They've got that slight dip, to just play around. They've got their vehicles positioned really well. So we just have to see, they're kind of going in for that edgy approach, playing zone to zone, as we can say. So that becomes really tricky. You need to be very, very careful while you're pushing in. And this is the kind of strat that gets you a lot of kills because you are fighting your way inside the final circle.
Of course, indeed, we have to find not just our way inside the circle. At the same time, you have to watch your back and all your angles. So it's going to be a lot more troublesome than you're thinking about. And then kicks in the pressure to get inside, and then kicks in the players calling out a lot of positions from all the other angles. But as we talk about, Mini 14, a classic DMR used in all the maps, and a lot more has a lot more popularity than any other DMRs as we talk about, because of course SKS has that recall a lot, and it kicks in a lot much when you just do those single tap fires. But Mini 14 definitely has that less recall, and at the same time you can just spam it really faster, just like M16.
Yeah. Right now, Tanveer from INFE. Well, they've got a good start. They've got those good 2 kills just backing them off. INFE got Particle. So, like we just mentioned in the pre-game segment, a lot of teams are going to look towards redeeming themselves, getting back into the league. And, with just limited number of matches remaining, they've got to do it quick. So they are acting upon it. So that's a good thing. And Log1 has kind of been, playing safe so far so long. Because we did see some fights happening here and there, XCVSE's Jerry, going after the players over there. And Sweet Love was in a very sticky spot. I really thought that at the moment, Jerry just kind of overstepped, while he was just reversing around. Maybe Log1 would have tried to, be a spoil spot. But look at this curveball right here, going all the way to its northeastern side. Now Log1 has nothing to really worry about, right? Now Team Log1 has a center. They've got the compound to play along with. And, well, SLX, they're in a kind of a fight between the players of INFE.
Exactly. SLX is going to be having a fight of their life, and at the same time, INFE is not really looking in the comfortable situation. INFE is taking a lot of damage here. They already have one guy knocked down, and there comes the finish from SLX. Beautiful plays coming from SLX. Their entire team is actually has their coordination up, and at the same time, they have their calls up as well. There comes the Grenadier kill as well.
Yeah, of course, that squad getting eliminated. INFE got Particle at the 16th position with just 2 kills as we finally see the players of ERZ. DRZ making a move at the players of TRA over here. Marshall, he's just holding on along the stairs. He's got that TPP angle. This is a situation where you would want to have a shotgun or something like an SMG for yourself.
Of course, the SMG would definitely do wonders in those close range, but as we talk about Marshall, it's going to be going down, and it's not going to be a really great time. His team's absolutely going to be disappointed in what just happened to Marshall. Marshall should have tried to back off or just jump outside the window at the same time, just try to back out to his teammate. That could have helped him out a lot.
Yeah, of course. I mean, TRA, I was really expecting that they would provide that cover fire, provide that extra pressure from the Grens coming out. Because this is the position where it's, you tend to be predictable. You know that the, teams usually camp around the stairs. You just pre-fire and enter. So your first shot connects, you're done. Basically, you're getting to win that duel, that skirmish. But right now, ERZ, TRZ, this is an aggressive squad. Now, we can see Gyro X also getting on action online over there with that first knock coming out from him. So it's going to be really, really interesting. But Baby Shark with that beautiful, beautiful grenade taking down 2 of the players of ERZ.
Of course, what a beautiful nade coming from Baby Shark there. That's going to be turning things around into their favor as well. Now, ERZ, TRZ is in a massive world of trouble. They need to get those 2 players up, while at the same time, they need to contest the enemy team's position. At the same time, they need to capitalize on their position and get those knockdowns as well.
Yeah, they certainly are going to do that. But Baby Shark just spraying down along with his barrel. This is not something that I really love. Now, he needs to just control it. He needs to hit his shots right because Mamba from the backlines is providing that cover fire. Something that we would expect from the likes of Team ERZ, TRZ. Now, they've got all their players back online. Now, they've got another player of TRA knocked out. It's all upon Baby Shark, who's just surviving by the whiskers. That grenade doing so much damage. How long is he going to live, though, as they're just hunting him down? And there you go. Team TRA, the Red Army, getting eliminated at the 15th position. And courtesy to ERZ, TRZ, what a beautiful push.
Of course, TRA, one of the big names, as we have seen in the previous tournaments and the past time also. Not really a small team as we talk about. They do have some potential fraggers in them as well, because we definitely saw that well-placed and precise nade, how that precision was there. But at the same time, TRA was getting contested from all over the angles, and at the same time, I feel like TRA should definitely have pushed the res, like when TRZ was trying to res their teammates. TRA should have definitely been a little bit more aggressive towards that res and stopped that from happening.
Yeah, of course. Now, you know, Dictator being already taken down, he's basically gone over there. But the Joy, how long is he going to survive? We did see in the early game that he did yield that M24. So he's not been able to kick off with that. And a free kill for Gyro, who's, you know, playing on all cylinders. And I would love to see this battle being, you know, breaking down between the players of XP Blood Legion and ERZ TRZ. You know, that is the battle that we are looking out for, the top two contenders right now. And ARS Sinister already being caught off guard.
Of course, Blood Legion is definitely the team that everyone should watch out for. This team should not be staying in the game for too long, or if they are, they're definitely going to be causing a lot more chaos and mayhem in those end circles. So Blood Legion needs to be eliminated off early if other teams want to have a good time, or at least a decent time in the end circles. But as we talk about, a lot of teams are getting close to each other. XC and SOB Hydra. Hydra is also all by himself, solo inside a buggy. The nade comes in from a demon. Not going to be able to connect much, doing a little bit of damage, but still going to be a lot more disappointed with those nades.
Yeah, of course, that's gonna hurt them. But right now, XCVSA, well, they've got that, you know, small dip advantage for them because they're on the higher ground. Now, Fahim is playing from a very precarious position. Now, we've got the players of Blood Legion going against all the other teams. You know, so much traffic around, so much car movements going on, so many kills coming one after the other. So we'll really have to see as the final circles finally start setting in, which team is going to come out on top. We can see even Mamba getting a few kills racked up for himself. And oh my goodness, Clark Majin, he is in such a situation. He's in such a tough spot.
Of course, as we talk about tough spot, all of the teams are actually in a tough spot. None of the spot over here are actually safe, because as we talk about, a lot of people are just being gathered into one side of the circle. If you take a look at the mini-map, there's just an absolute chaos all over the place. But Blood Legion seems like they are the ones really dominating. At the same time, there are some teams in their backline. They have to watch out at their back. But XP Blood Legion isn't really a small team. They are going to be doing what it's supposed to do to win the game.
Yeah, of course. You know, now teams are just falling one after the other like a stack of dominoes. But with that being said, Blood Legion and ERZ, they are, you know, firing on all cylinders, taking down squads after squads, wiping out everybody that's going to come down in front of them. But look at Exentric Infinity. They've somehow managed to make it so far. But even if they get eliminated from here, they're just going to walk off with just that 1 point coming in from the placements. But Thunder, he's getting a few kills for himself, has managed to knock out Rolex.
Of course, as we talk about Sif, is just trying to get that knockdown kill confirmed as he can, but at the same time, doesn't really seem that Magneto is going to be given that a knockdown kill that easily. He's going to be staying behind that cover. As we talk about CNC Kuni, this man has been really popping off. Even yesterday in the games, he has been showing up his best, but also Gyro just making a lot of trouble using those smoke for his advantage. Also, at the same time, as we talk about, he is trying to stop those raids from happening, but doesn't really seem like Gyro is going to be successful in doing those.
I mean, all he has got to do is cook a grenade and just throw out an ARS Sinister will be deleted from the server. And I believe at this point, the way they're engaging, I think they've kind of run out of those utilities. And we can see the players of Log 1. You know, they're doing pretty well. They've, you know, done a decent job at surviving so far. But look at this. XCVSC right on the higher grounds, having this blessings of the circle. But Thunder, he's on a grenadier spree right now, getting a few kills on over there. And IPG Forak, it's absolute chaos. They're getting, you know, they're getting those shots, but finally they've also been eliminated.
Exactly. As we talk about XC, though, XC is actually looking in a really comfortable spot. As we saw, they do have that high ground advantage. At the same time, they're just peppering down all those bullets on everybody, just sprinkling that salt on top of that as well. At the same time, there's a lot of knockdowns going in. Gyro just unstoppable. The whole team, XP Blood Legion, is going to be eliminating CNC there. That's a massive knockout from this game.
Yeah, they've already racked up so many kills, but they need to get that revive onto Ryan. They need to get him back up when the time comes in, because I do not not feel that it's possible right now, considering how the circle has started closing in. But look at Old Boy from Log 1. He's getting a few knocks on the board. And even A1 Esports 1952 has done a really good job. Dominic somehow surviving because that, that vehicle has just burned off. But Sincere, right in front of him, makes no mistake, takes him down.
Dominic is absolutely not scared of anything, but at the same time, Blood Legion is in a massive trouble. Now they have to figure out how they're going to be playing out and capitalizing on all the enemy position at the same time, using those utilities for their advantage, using the smoke for temporary cover and getting inside the circle is definitely going to be a lot much more harder for XP Blood Legion because they have been one of the most targeted team, and people all know that XP Blood Legion is, if they're going to be staying alive to the end circle, it's going to be a harder time for them to actually staying alive as well, because Gyro and all those Dominic, if we talk about, those are the most star players for Blood Legion, and if they are going to be alive, it's going to be a lot more chaos in the end circles.
Yeah, they've already racked up 10 kills for themselves, and well, Exentric Infinity have done a really good job of holding each other. This is that one player surviving Thunder, and he's made it to the top 7. Now SLX, they're in a whole world of trouble as Cherry's got his eyes on towards him. But A1 Esports 1952 Tawfiq, he's also that lone man survivor, but somehow did manage to take one down from the players of ERZ.
Of course, Sketch down to the zone damage there. Unfortunate for Sketch. He was knocked out, couldn't really do much, and yeah, his teammate couldn't just really go back inside the circle. But as we talk about circle, the circle is being in a really unfortunate spot for ERZ-TRZ. They have to actually capitalize on the situation. At the same time, other teams are going to be contesting inside the circles as well, so ERZ-TRZ is going to be having a hard time defending the circle as well, because XC Jerry, as we've seen about this, XC was in a really comfortable spot until the circle decided to move and favor the other team, which was ERZ-TRZ.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Mamba, what is he going to do? He's got the blessings of that ridge to play around. Cherry getting that beautiful knock onto its Dominic. Now this is huge. XE, they are playing on all cylinders with the way they're getting the knocks. But look at Mamba's grenade coming out all the way from far, getting that 3-pointer connected. Now Blood Legion, they've got to be very careful. They've got to get themselves inside the circle. How are they going to do that?
It certainly is going to be a lot more hard for them to actually get that, but at the same time, XP Blood Legion is just proning around in the grasses, trying to contest the area as much as they can and trying to just get a better position overall. But at the same time, if we take a look at ERZ-TRZ Mamba, he is absolutely struggling in getting those knockdowns, but at the same time, they are actually successfully defending the zones for so long. As we talk about, Atomic with 3 kills, absolutely great domination coming in from Atomic there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they've got the circles. All they have to do is connect those shots, and they are certainly doing that with a lot of finesse. Mamba still surviving, fending off every single attack that's coming down onto his way. And Rare, he's already got those 3 kills coming in for him. Gyro is still surviving. Now we've just got that 4 teams remaining, 8 players alive. Anything can possibly happen.
Of course, XP Blood Legion is still in the game, so it's definitely going to be a lot more harder for ERZ-TRZ to actually keep those players defending. But at the same time, ERZ-TRZ do have all their teammates alive, but it's actually going to be a really massive competition in the end here, because there's one more team who has all of their teammates alive. So it's definitely going to be a lot more harder and a lot more interesting to see how, which team is going to be coming out on top.
Yeah, of course, but look at Leo. He's just out of the circle. He's trying to play around, but this chicken dinner looks like to be going into the names of the players of ERZ-TRZ. Now finally that battle coming off. It's Leo versus Gyro. One good grenade coming out from Gyro. He can get that connected, but no, that was a Molotov trying to flush out the enemy. But Rare has somehow spotted his position. Now Gyro having the higher ground, the upper ground advantage. He's in a good spot. But look at Mamba. That's a very good split.
Of course, Gyro has those massive 5 kills number for him. Those are some massive kills. So as we all know how lethal Gyro can be sometimes in those end circles. So XP Blood Legion might be a little bit more troublesome for ERZ-TRZ Mamba and Rare. Now this is just a prone battle coming in. A lot of utilities being used, smoke being used from Leo just to get a little bit of temporary cover for himself so he can just move inside, barely inside the smoke. As we talk about, ERZ-TRZ is in a really comfortable spot. If they just keep on holding that spot successfully, Gyro might just be in a little bit of trouble. Wow. As we talk about, Gyro is going to be taking down Rare. Now it's all down to Mamba.
Yeah, it certainly is, and he's been spotted. He's taken a lot of damage, and Gyro, he'll make no mistake in getting that chicken for his team. What a showdown, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, for a second, I really thought that ERZ-TRZ might have got this game in the bag, but it was the persistence, the perseverance from the players of Blood Legion coming out on top again with those 13 kills and a beautiful chicken dinner. I mean, for a second, this time it was quite different from what it was yesterday when ERZ got their chicken. You know, they had to fight their way inside the circle in Pachinki, but this time they had the better of it. And I think the only problem that they had a much things on their plate. You know, a lot to eat. But you know, in that process, they got their players knocked out because they had the perfect dip to play around. You know, they've got that perfect cover. Mamba was really firing hot, and you know, even Rare, he was doing fairly well. But it was, you know, XB Blood Legion coming from the backlines, you know, trying to take down every single player that has their attention somewhat onto a different direction. And with that being said, getting that beautiful chicken dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at who is the MVP, because Mamba, of course, 7 kills, 1315 damage. Great.
Of course, Mamba was the one definitely holding the zone pretty properly, as we talk about. He was using the M4 and just spraying down anyone who came in front of him. Mamba has been doing a really fantastic job over here. But at the same time, if we take a look at like overall top players, which we'll be seeing in quite a while, I'm pretty sure Gyro has been doing a really fantastic job in those end circle. As I was talking about, Gyro, how lethal that man can be if he is going to be alive in the end circles. Like, the whole Blood Legion team is just absolutely fascinating to watch, and iconic moments they are presenting those for us to cast here.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, he was a cold-blooded killer. And even when things were not in their favor, they did not fluster. They did not panic at all. And that is the champion's mentality that we need over here. That is what we're looking for. The best of the best in the lot. Because now you'll be going into the finals. You will be facing off teams that have a lot of experience, have a lot of players, you know, that have represented their country on various international tournaments. And you know, to try and compete against that, you need to be as good, if not better. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the top players in the lobby, and I'm pretty sure we'll get Gyro, and he's got that 7 kills. Of course, it's just the damage that has sort of differentiated between them.
Of course, Mamba was in a really comfortable spot inside the zone, so of course Mamba, all he had to do was just hold. But at the same time, what Gyro had to do was look around himself. At the same time, he had to contest the zone, use his utilities, get inside the zone, just get in a really comfortable spot as well. So Gyro definitely had a lot more things for himself to go around on, and he just wanted to play as safe as he can and try to wait for those end circles.
I mean, he was really bold with every single movement. You know, if you remember that fight against ENC, he was right out in the open. He was doing whatever he could. He did wipe out that squad. He did a lot of things. But, you know, if you talk about Dominic, he's also provided that proper support fire. Like always, you know, you've got Gyro, who's playing on all cylinders, just going in onto with the squad. And he gets that assurance that you talk about from Dominic, from the backlines. Hey, buddy, I'm looking up to you. Do whatever you want, and getting that free space, and that's where, you know, Gyro really shines. And this is the partnership duo that we've been looking out for. But we also cannot disregard Rare from ERZ TRZ. He was also one of those survivors. Of course, not really having that best of the positions because he was on that lower ground. Gyro did have that advantage. But ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the match summary and see how the other statistics came up.
Of course, as we look at the match summary, of course, how can we forget Demon? This man has been doing really fantastic in those early games too. We saw him just absolutely just dominating all the teams that were coming in front of him. But of course, there have been a lot more moments going in favor of Gyro. As we talk about, XP Blood Legion is, of course, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a huge fan of them now.
I mean, of course, we've already been, because considering how they've been playing in the first day, you kind of tend to think that, was it just a fluke? But no, they are prepared. You know, they know what they have got to do. They are men on a hunting mission, and they justify that. But of course, XCVS, I loved how they played. Like you mentioned, Demon, look at that, 5 assists coming out from this player. He's been there from the backlines. I mean, Jerry, of course, getting those initial knocks. They stayed on till the end. But, you know, while they were entering in, like I said, they had a lot of players to deal with. But today we got something really different to see. Yesterday it was teams just going after each other, you know, like madmen. But today teams tried to approach it very strategically, and they kind of decided to, you know, just come out on top. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a look at the match ranking and see how the teams have fared off in this particular map.
Of course, as we talk about, ERZ TRZ has definitely gotten the most points from all those games, because we saw them absolutely pop off and getting a lot of kills in those end circles. But Blood Legion was the one who actually got that chicken dinner, and yeah, it's just a lot more.
Just a point difference. But, both these teams, they are, putting up the competition. They are heating things up. Now, it's going to be really difficult for the players of Exentric Infinity to catch up. But, huge props to Thunder, considering the fact that his teammates died really early on. He survived till the end. And he was bringing the fight right on the face of the players of TRZ, managing to knock one of their players out of the server with that trend that we saw. I mean, had Thunder not done that, maybe they could have walked off with a victory.
I feel like INFE could have gotten a really better position as well if they decided to play a little bit more safe or just try to play like around the edges and use their utilities on point. But I don't know what happened. I feel like they more kind of like choked in the end circle and decided to just go off and get like a complete squad.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done a lot of things. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's head into our lovely OPPO moments and see those, action really coming into life yet again. I mean, it's all started off with 2 players of Exentric Infinity being taken down. That was a rather confusing split. I mean, 2 players at Lipovka, 2 players at Milta. What were you even thinking? I mean, not in a situation like this, not in a region of Bangladesh is where you can try out these various strats, because you need to know the fact that these teams are really playing aggressive right on your faces. You need to have all your 4 players around you. And even TRA, they were just wiped out. And TRZ, we know this is an aggressive team. And after getting these Gren knocks, I really felt the players might just take that upper advantage, try to go and push. But that's where Mamba was really venomous. He was on the back lines. One of the players did, of course, try to do that, but he was there to provide the cover fire. He got that 1 knock, and he played a phenomenal game, to be honest.
Of course, to be honest, I feel like if he was a little bit too more aggressive inside the smoke, of course, the players in the back lane wouldn't have been able to spot him because he was inside the smoke, and he could have stopped that res as well. But he was just trying to play safe as he can. But at the same time, he could have backed off and just got rid of that situation. But he just wanted to go for the fight, and somewhat he made a really wrong decision there.
I mean, it comes to perception. He just wanted to go all in. It's still the first game. He knows that, he's got 3 more games backing him up. Yeah, like you mentioned, you do not want to get eliminated pretty early on, because you're not getting that position points. Those sweet points that really matter. Of course, you'll get a few kill points, but hey, you got to do that. At least if you're focusing on those kill points, you need to wipe out a squad or 2. That's where you get those 8 points and maybe 2 points from position, 10 points. Yes, you can say I've had a fairly good game. But, now with things going on, I would love to see how it has changed on the overall rankings. XP Blood Legion, of course, having still, taken that good lead for themselves. 95 points being racked up, and this is the 2nd chicken dinner that they've got. But TRZ Esports not really far behind with 85.
Of course, Blood Legion just dominating at the first position there. But TRZ is just following their footsteps at the same time. They might be able to catch up if Blood Legion just makes any kind of small mistakes, and TRZ is already on their back.
What they have to do is really, a few of the teams, if they need to, clinch that lead back, either you just drop off in their dropping spots, you can test them. But, it comes at a cost. You might have some casualties of your own. That is something that you really cannot afford. But as we move down, towards the bottom half of the table that we have, a lot of teams need to pick themselves up, especially teams like PXBS, who've been having a really rough time. 5 games, 27 points. They could do better.
Of course, XBS can definitely do a lot more better. A lot of teams can do better. Yeah. All we can do is just expect them to do better, but it all comes down to them, how they're going to be performing in the game. As you talked about, some of the teams did realize that they are going to be having the first game. It's just the first game. They might have played a little bit more loose, but at the same time, they were playing a little bit loose. But in a tournament like this, when it's a PMCO, you can't just be thinking, oh, it's just the first game, so it doesn't really matter. You can't be doing that. Every single game matters a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And CNC Genocide really, really need to wake up. I mean, they are in their slumbers. They are still hibernating. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's head for a short little break, because coming up is the action from Sanhok. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to day number 3 of the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021. Of course, the Bangladesh region is where we are in, and we did witness an amazing game in Erangel. But let's just head into Sanhok and see what action awaits for us.
Of course, we are going to be indeed interested to see what these players are going to be putting in forward us. I'm, of course, thrilled to see how XP Blood Legion is going to be capitalizing on Sanhok.
Yeah, I mean, right now, considering how the flight path has been heading out, see that splash of colors throughout the entire map. And, well, Team SLX. So, they've dropped off at the edge and of the eastern side, of course, but this is again that Camp Alpha circle that we've been talking about, the trouble that all these teams face. Now, the thing with Sanhok is that you get to see that circle right off in the flight path, so you can make those suitable adjustments while you're off in the air. So, IPGX, they've done a fairly decent job at really capitalizing, understanding the situation, heading on towards Camp Alpha. Now, all they need to do is just drop off there, get that loot, get on towards the top of the hills. But I really like how they've positioned Sincere over there. So he's guarding that entire area off on towards the shrines, trying to deny the entry of the teams coming from the down lines.
Of course, as we talk about entry from the down lines, all the teams are going to be more busy looting. But what just happened here?
I mean, welcome to Sanhok. That's pretty much what happened. I mean, Tanveer.
Unfortunate, yeah. I'm pretty sure Witcher did not expect one of the INFE teammates, members to drop there, and that's going to be such an early knockout for them. And Tanveer is going to be getting that early frag point in his hand, and his team is definitely going to be a lot more proud for him.
Yeah, they certainly are going to be. And, Hydra from Soulz of BD. Let's talk about this team. We have not gotten enough of them in the first game, and they were kind of having a lackluster performance. And this is not acceptable, because this is one of the teams that has the experience backing them up. This is one of the teams that has been playing really well in the past. And suddenly, looking at them just crumbling like a cookie, it's not acceptable to me, because I know these lads have the potential to do a lot more. But now, getting back to the game again, INFE, the players, what do you do with that? They've had a fairly decent start, but towards the end, towards the late mid-game, they kind of messed it up in Erangel.
Of course, they did mess it up a little bit in Erangel, but at the same time, this is the map where they can redeem themselves. At the same time, yeah, they can just make you worse. So it really depends on their luck, also at the same time, their skills, and yeah, just the more kind of like how the IGL is going to be playing around in the situation and how he's going to be capitalizing on the situations that he's going to be getting inside, and his thought process is definitely going to be a lot more important to all of his teammates and team members for their victory.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at ARS Sinister, so this particular team, did have a very good position inside the circle in Erangel, but they could not really traverse around or rotate properly, so they need to know. And in a map like Sanhok, you really need to find where the circle is going to head out to. So one thing for sure that all these teams do understand is the fact that it's going towards Camp Alpha, right? So it's going towards the western side. That's the maximum possibility, unless and until the circle kind of throws you a curveball right off the bat. So it might go towards the southern island maybe, but right for now, we must assume that it's somewhere going towards the western side. So a lot of teams are making that early rotation, because yesterday, if you remember, in the Nepali region, while we were casting, we had a kind of sort of similar circle, and the teams had a lot of problems trying to get in. Majority of the kills happened right inside the water.
Of course, yeah, the water rotation is definitely one of the most riskiest rotation, because it also gives you a movement penalty. At the same time, you're not going to be able to use your gun inside water. So yeah, water rotations are definitely a lot more risky, and you have to go early as you can. So you are going to be the one to hold those positions down and making sure none other team is going to be coming in outside from the water. So of course you are going to be the king over there.
Yeah, I mean, now taking a look at the players of XCVS, not really having the kind of a start that they could have, really. Cherry trying to just park his vehicle inside the compound, and I like this bike strat coming out from these lads. You get that extra bit of a pace, you get an extra bit of the enemies really trying to connect the shots. They need to be really precise. But look at this. This is what I was scared about. And TRZ being the ones from the backline just firing down, hammering all those bullets onto the players of D9. So now this is gonna get a lot more tricky, because Jihad, he's caught. He cannot get out. The moment he steps out of the water, he's basically a dead man.
Yeah, of course, he indeed is definitely a dead man. but he can
Whoa, he
definitely
survived.
bob and weave those bullets, yeah, because it's a really far away range fixes. It's not going to be easier than it looks, right? Like, of course, for us, it looks like it's going to be a lot more easier, but at the same time, the recoil kicks in at the as long as the range is, and the player model just looks like really small and like just like a dot in front of you. So it's going to be a lot more harder for him to spray him down at those range. But as we talk about the airdrop, one comes in, the MK47, the big guns are dropping in. Who is going to be contesting that airdrop is going to be a lot more like exciting to see.
Yeah, I mean, of course, who does not love a good old Mark 14? And, you know, team detonators. So they've got that high ground advantage for themselves. XCVS. You know, now this is a team that has already lost out on a single pair. Now we've got the players of IPGX, right? They're on the higher grounds. Now they're holding it off. Confused? Does he have the information though? That's going to be really, really crucial. You know, because in a map like Sanhok, if you've got the position up at the top, you spot teams out, and right in the open, you can easily take them down.
Of course, in open, you can take anyone down in easily. And yeah, of course, the team might be in a little bit of trouble if they get caught in open ground. And at the same time, if we talk about D9, though, Hellfire has been one of the players who have been really passive in the past. We haven't really seen him come out on top in like most of the fights. But at the same time, we cannot just be out here judging them on their playstyle. So Sanhok, this map might be their game for sure. Let's just keep on watching how they're going to be playing it out.
Already one of the players of IPGX. Look at him. He's already ready. And any single moment, the players of Detonators come out. I think that's where Detonators have realized that they've got someone watching them from up top. You know, they've got that king of the hell position, IPGX. And this is a team, you know, that really capitalizes. You know, we've got Mahfouz. We've seen him being so terrific in that map of Miramar, where they tend to get those high ground advantage for themselves and just get the chicken easily. But elsewhere, we can see Syed taking a dig at the players of Soulz of BD, and a few trade-offs here and there. You know, he gets taken down as well as the battle between these two teams finally breaks out.
Of course, as we talk about ARS, one of the Saeed is going to be going down. Unfortunate situation coming out for ARS there, but soon they can be capitalizing on that, using no smoke for their covers. But SOBs doesn't really seem like they're going to be stopping though. They are going to be keeping on hammering those bullets on them, and the revive is definitely going to be coming out on top. But as we talk about, IPGX is going to be getting their first knock on the Detonators. 2 knocks coming down. Detonators in a massive world of trouble. Now, how are they going to be able to survive all of this? Because B277 doesn't really seem like he's going to be stopping.
Yeah, he certainly does not seem like that. And, well, Detonators, they're finally going to meet their makers. But Sincere, he's been taken down. So that's one of the things that they need to work out for. But Mahfouz providing that cover fire for his team, buying enough time. But now the question comes, are they going to commit? Because Jihad, he's inside the compound. And for IPGX to get the entire squad eliminated, they have to step down from the kind of an advantage that they have. Now, is that a good trade-off? That's what they are, you know, calculating right now, because the revivals are coming in. A few good grins, and I might see, you know, Team Detonators taking an early exit.
Of course, Detonator is in a world of troubles and have already lost.
Yeah.
Detonators has been eliminated early off. What an unfortunate situation. What an unfortunate turn of events for Team Detonator there. But doesn't really mind. They still have 2 maps for themselves coming up. If you guys take a look at the circle, look at the bottom right on the circle. There are so many teams just absolutely gathered across each other. There's going to be a lot more fightings coming on soon, because INFE is on their way as well.
Yeah, of course. You know, talking about the players of even Log 1. We did get a glimpse at them, you know, still outside the zone. They're still trying to make their way inside the circle. So that's going to be really, really tricky for them. Now, taking a look at Soulz of BD, you've got all these 4 players trying to move inside the circle. And we'll have to see how they proceed on this one. And Junaid, well, they've managed to get 2 kills off. So that's a good thing. Now this is also a team that needs to somehow redeem themselves, needs to get out chicken, you know, to get that confidence back rolling in for them, to get the momentum going in their favor. So considering the fact that they're now, you know, fighting the way inside the circle, it's going to be really tough, because the majority of the teams have already crossed over.
Of course, the majority of teams indeed have crossed over, but at the same time, there are going to be a lot more fights happening because this is the Sanhok map. This is a really small map, and the rotations, you don't really need those vehicles in, and even if you do use those vehicles, your position is going to be given away because in Sanhok, we all know how important your positioning is going to be because the zone's going to be shrinking a lot more faster. You have the pressure building in a lot more faster. At the same time, your palms are sweating while you're holding that phone. It's just going to be a lot more when it's going on inside your head.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at the position of the players of ERZ, TRZ, they've got the eyes on the big fishes that we have. That's A1 Esports 952 we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. And Atomic from the back lines, you know, he's present over there just to try to fend off attacks from behind. So a very good information from the players again coming out. Now Hydra, he's taken dig at Storm, and they're getting a lot of knocks into their favor. And like I mentioned, you know, they're playing that edge-to-edge strat and, you know, kind of taking down every single team that's coming in front of them. So that's a really interesting approach coming out from Soulz of BD. Right from the early game, they're getting a lot of kills into their name. That's going to help them. Now, if they get a 6 or 7 spot and they've got some 8 to 10 kills, I mean, if you just add it up, it goes somewhere around 15 to 16 points, which is fairly acceptable, which is really great coming for a team like Soulz of BD that have been kind of struggling right now.
Of course, indeed, they have been struggling in the past as well, but hey, things can turn out really well sometimes, and even they can be turning out completely any or other way, which can be definitely tragic for all these teams. But as we talk about IPG, they definitely have a lot more better position on top of the hill. They are looking down on ERZ, TRZ because they have capitalized their position, and they are looking forward to take the shots in as soon as ERZ, TRZ decides to show their self, but doesn't really seem like that's going to be happening anytime soon, while Mefus is just scouting out the open ground. He has such a massive wide of angle in front of him. He has all that open ground in front of him. He can just shoot whoever he wants if he just sees anyone.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at Soulz of BD, now they've got their eyes set onto it, the Red Army. And this is a team that has been, you know, fairly struggling today. And in the first game itself, being wiped out from the likes of the players of ERZ, TRC. And now again being picked off. Look at Baby Shark, he's running for his life. And Soulz of BD, now they are in a very interesting situation, right? So they've got a lot of kills. I would love to see, you know, the exact number at that. And there is our favorite team out there, CNC Genocide, again trying to cause some trouble out there, and they will be doing fairly well. And White Cat, well, he's being patient, he's being vigilant, he's just waiting for the players of A1 Esports 952 to really come out from their den. And the moment they do that, that's when they're going to strike.
Of course, I feel like CNC is one of those teams where it's just like those small insects, right? They don't really harm that much. But at the same time, they're just really annoying to face against because it's just like you don't really want to give them much attention. But at the same time, yeah, they are one of the most annoying teams as we talk about. But INFE is taking those water routes as we talk about, but doesn't really seem like they're going to be quite scared of their enemy position, or they are just a lot more sure and confident that there's going to be no one else camping outside. M249, a massive care package drop weapon there. Beautiful stuff. I absolutely love this gun. What are your views on this gun?
I mean, to be honest, we haven't seen the M249 in action at all of the 2 days we've casted so far in both the regions. And, you know, yesterday, this is a region in Bangladesh. We've seen teams actually not really going in for those care packages. So that's a concern for me because I know that, you know, it's a higher risk, higher reward situation. But, well, Soulz of BD, I mean, they've actually channel their inner demons over here and of course eliminated Genocide. Now this is where I kind of agree with you at the same time and certainly would beg to disagree, because this is one of the teams, you know, like you mentioned, they're like insects, you know, they're just everywhere, and they either kind of just poke you, maybe take a player down from your team, but at the same time, you know, these are all the teams that have made it so far. We can never really undermine them, but the kind of a gameplay that they're playing, you know, I'm really having second thoughts. How did they make it so far? Because they're completely lost. Is it the pressure? Or is it the team? Or is it the circle that is the problem? Because they do not come with any single particular strat. They have no game plan. Something that the teams of with the likes of ERZ, TRZ are really good at.
I'm definitely sure CNC has came in with a game plan, but they are going up against the most toughest competition as well.
Maybe.
They are facing against some of the best players, and yeah, situations might have been making them a little bit worried for all the around situations going on. But CNC, I'm pretty sure they are trying their best to just keep themselves inside this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team. It's their first time. It's, I think, the nerves being racked up. It's the mental pressure coming out from these players, and in these situation, you kind of tend to really choke off. But you know what my advice would be for this team? Play like it's the last game you're playing. Play like you've got nothing to lose. And I'm pretty sure, if teams start doing that, they're going to get a lot of success. Either ways, you're already on the bottom of the table. Either ways, you're at the brink of the elimination. So try to give in your hearts out. But look at Soulz of BD. I think they just add too much on the plate, like I mentioned, taking a lot of fights, but not really focusing on the circle, because western side shift is really tricky to approach, and especially in a map like Sanhok, they should have known that they needed to prioritize the circle over here, considering it was on towards a different island, kind of being restricted the entry. But Shuo, he gets taken down.
Of course, going to be a really tragic situation coming in here for EC, though. Shuo has been taken down. All the other teammates are trying to get him back up, using those utilities, using those smoke grenades to get as much as cover as possible. But at the same time, yeah, Riddle is trying his best to just get his teammate next to him, but they are also getting camped from up top by IPG. So I feel like EC is in a really bad spot currently if they are, because Thunder and Seavine have been one of the most potential fraggers for EC coming out here on top. But if they both are being taken down, as we talk about that, beautiful nade coming in from IPG there. It's going to be B277 going to be getting a knockdown on Thunder with that beautiful massive nade. Thunder's going to be a lot more disappointed, and EC has lost one of their potential fraggers.
They certainly have. Now, EC, one good low toss lob grenade onto the players of Exentric Infinity by 8277. I mean, that's going to do the deal. And yes, he certainly is going for that. If this knock connects, yes, that's going to be big. One beautiful knock onto Shuwasa. But now the question arises, are they going to commit? Because this is the right time. Riedel and CY, they're so scared. They've started to panic. They are kind of caught in a situation. If they kind of come out of this place, they're going to get taken down. But, you see, look at the players of IPGX. They've rotated in really quick succession. They're going to provide that, extra bit of an angle. And, well, Shuo, he just got alive. Again, being taken down. And this time, he will be finished for the better half. And right now, CY also being caught off guard with the way he's been playing with that Uzi. Of course, I mean, in Sanhok, this weapon really does wonders.
Uzi is just absolutely shredding everybody right now. Riddle is taking a little bit of zone damage at the same time. He is down to low HP. He's going to be medicating himself up. I feel like in this situation, he should have definitely bandaged, because he has that time a lot there. And I don't feel like the enemy team does capitalize on his situation. Seavine is knocked down. He is trying to go to Riddle, but doesn't really seem like it's going to be happening now. It's just the support player for EC Alive, and it's also gonna get third-partied at the same time. What is going on? Unfortunate circumstances for EC there. IPGX causing a lot of trouble for them.
Yeah, of course, Soulz of BD also being eliminated. That knock player should never have come to its Vital, because, at that moment, she's just giving away his position, and 8277, he knew that someone is there. Okay, I'll take my own sweet time in just waiting for him. But IPGX, again, being the king of the hills, and, doing so much damage. Now, Team Log1, they've made a really good rotation, considering the fact that they were so late into the party. But now we have the players of IPG4ARC. Well, they've got Caffeine from SLX. Is Venom aware about it? Because Caffeine is going to punish him for that. Wait a second. He knows someone is in the fray, but he's kind of ignored him. Alright, now he goes in, checks this corner.
Oh my god, he knocked out off the zone in front of him. What is this I'm watching? What an unfortunate turn of events in there against them. Oh no, he just got knocked down in front of him. That was an absolute
He was healing up.
moment.
He meant no harm. And they just enter in and he's like, goodbye, you can have my loot.
He's just like, hello? And then he just goes knocked out. Unfortunate circumstances coming in on their favor. But as we keep on talking about the game, we have been saying how good IPG has been positioning themselves in these previous games as well. B277 has been just fragging out for their team. But yeah, potential circumstances might go against you as well, so they have to watch out their backs. But I feel like at this point, IPG is just being a lot more confident. As we talk about, XBL Dominic is going to be getting the first knock. Beautiful 2 knocks coming in from Dominic there. Blood Legions is in a massive trouble. But at the same time, Gyro is still alive. Their fragger, their massive fragger, their star player is still alive. Gyro can actually turn things around in their favor. As we talk about, Gyro is going to be taking one more knockdown from them, and that's going to be a M4 6X spray. Beautiful spray coming in from Gyro. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he's a monster right now, and he's that one player that you need to rely on, but how is he gonna get inside the circle? He's made so much noise, but you know, IPGX just having that high ground advantage for themselves. Even if their players get knocked out, they've got that chance to get revived, as we are finally down to our last final 2 teams. But Blood Legion again making it into the top 2, and I do not think that they can get the chicken on this one unless and until, you know, Ryan and Gyro pull off something really miraculous. But look at this man going off, popping up his grenades, and there you go, one beautiful knock. He knows where the other one is. He's just going to lob one more, and I think that's pretty much going to seal the deal. But no, it's kind of, you know, deflected from over there. And the moment, you know, Marshall, any single moment, he's just knocked out. Cynthia might just close in and maybe potentially just get the final kills.
The only thing I would like to say is hashtag stop bullying Blood Legions. IPG is just absolutely bullying Blood Legions. They're at their position. They're taking a lot of zone damage, and there goes Blood Legion down. IPG is going to be taking that chicken dinner in their hands. What a beautiful turn of events for them. What a massive, unfortunate events coming from Blood Legion, getting a lot more unlucky in those final phases. But what we are seeing from Blood Legion is that they are a lot more consistent in getting those securing those top survival points.
You know, this time, you know, I have a different thought, because to be honest, IPGX were just too smart. I'll tell you why. Reason being, this is a team. Right from the get-go, when we were in that flight path trajectory, they did see the circle. Instantly headed down to the Camp Alpha area, right? And they just held on towards the King of the Hill position. You know, since if you would have seen, he was, you know, taking control over the shrine area. And right from over there, they were just, you know, trying to fend off every single attack coming from down below. And, you know, this is where things get really interesting from over here. Like you mentioned, you know, Blood Legion, again, fighting their way inside the circle. They've got a lot of kills. Same goes for ARZ, TRZ. Same goes for XCBSC. So we've got a lot of teams that, you know, are really consistent. But ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the MVP, that one player. And I know who it is going to be. Of course, B277. I mean, the way this lad has been playing. I mean, so beautiful, beautiful grenades. I think he's good at that basketball practice.
Certainly he is. IPGX B277 has been peppering down a lot of like those salt pepper just from the top, you know, making all the players salty in the bottom. I'm pretty sure that they are indeed getting a lot more salty and angry. There's just like, oh my god, look at this guy, so annoying. He's just camping at the top of the hill.
Well, you know, it all started off, you know, that major fight, I think in the between against Team Exentric Infinity. That's where they got that cojones that, yes, we can do it. But right now, we are going to take a look at the top players. Yeah. Well, Soulz of BD, I think this is a major improvement from the performance in the past, right? And now they've gotten those 5 kills for themselves. Sincere also securing those 5 kills. Had that King of the Hill position, but you know, you can never rule out Aman Cairo with the way he's been playing. 3 kills, 470 damage. Impressive.
I feel like SOB is one of those like really mediocre teams that are performing consistent, but at the same time they're not able to like top their skill ceiling. And they definitely need to like do something really out of the box and unique if they definitely want to secure those top survival points. And getting those strategies on the board at the last second, as we talked about how tough it is in the last second to actually get those strategies on top of the board. So SOB definitely needs to like step their game up.
Yeah, they certainly have to, but you know, this is an improvement from the past games, right? Now they've gotten those kills, so a lot of confidence coming inside of them. But let's take a look at the match summary as we will have a conversation continuing for us. So SOBD, one thing they did really bad was, in fact, really, I must say it was wrong, was the fact that they did not respect the circle. Of course, they did fight their way in. They were fighting edge to edge, but they should have, you know, crossed the bridge and maybe then could have gotten more kills rather. But, you know, if you talk about the highest kills, B277 just coming out on top. And Marshall, well, 300 meters in Sanhok is pretty impressive.
Of course, B277, the positioning showing it's great. And as we talk about, Macho has gotten that 300, almost 300 meter knockdown or a kill. The thing is, like in Sanhok, getting that 300 meter kill is a big thing in itself and a big achievement. As we talk about, longest distance travel has been pretty decent as well.
I mean, yeah.
Yep. Sweet Love was definitely the one who got caught off guard in his car, though. So yeah, Sweet Love had a rough time when he was using that car.
Imagine using your bike and just going around up until the point you just land right in front of your enemy. That's something that you would not want for yourselves. But ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at the match ranking and see how these teams have been doing in this map itself. And there you go, 15 kills, 15 position points, 30 coming out for IPGX, and certainly what they needed. We know how deadly this team is in Miramar, but today now they've shown their prowess in Sanhok. So I think we can start making comparisons for this team to the likes of RRQ, because this is one of those teams, you know, that love to play that King of the Hill position, and every single time that they get it, you know, they're stepping up. And it was not Mahfouz anymore. I mean, he still did get a couple of kills, but it all came down to B277 and of course Sincere, who were playing really well.
Of course, Sincere were the one playing really well, but at the same time, if we talk about CNC, that doesn't really seem like they're going to be stepping their game up anytime soon, because since yesterday they have been just loving those bottom points. I feel like they just like to stay in those bottom. They're one of those people who don't really like the limelight on themselves and the spotlight on themselves, so they're just going to be taking their sweet little time on the bottom tag. Exentric Infinity definitely struggling a lot too in these last two games. We have seen that team come up on the overall leaderboards on top, but I don't really know what is happening to them today. But yeah, I'm certainly sure in those last two games, which are going to be Miramar and Erangel, they are going to be showing themselves up more.
I mean, the only fault that they did was they were kind of caught in a situation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the Oppo moments as we keep our conversation on. I mean, that was his position where they went off against IPGX, right? So what they could have really done is used a few utilities, you know, to try to smoke that area off, to try and confuse B277. Look at them, just going off one after the other. I mean, C-Wine was not there. He did not have any reason to go back to his teammates. You know, in situations like that, going back to your teammates, you're basically revealing your position. And Reader, he was helpless in that position. And of course, this game was pretty simple to break down. It was just holding on to the best spot in the game, the circle coming down to your favor every single time. But Blood Legion, huge props to them again with a kind of a performance. I mean, we did see Dominic with that beautiful spray control and taking down not just one but two players just from that one spray. Even when he was on a very little sliver of HP, when he had a little sliver of HP remaining. But now let's take a look at overall ranking, where we will of course see XP Blood Legion kind of solidifying their lead even further. ERZ, TRZ, well, they're kind of trying to catch up, but this is where IPGX has made a massive, huge rise. But then again, you know, one team that has been always playing under the radar, that's XCVSE. They've been consistent all the time.
Infernal, Parasite over there, we definitely did not expect that team to climb up the leaderboard so fast. They have been playing really great in these previous two games, so yeah, for sure. But as we talk about Exentric Esports, they are just like not having a great time of their life today for sure, because they are on the number 5th spot.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk about the teams like Exentric Infinity over there, not really having the best start that they would anticipate, that they would expect, because this is a team that has been consistent, alright? In the first game, they did lose out on two of their players. I don't know what they were even thinking with going with that 2-2 split. So that was a reason for the demise. Today, in the second map, and few mistakes being made. You know, in situations where they do not have things under their control, they kind of tend to panic, and that kind of leads to them being eliminated. I mean, that was still a pretty much doable situation. Bait one of in those sticky spots. Try to bait one of your teammates out. You know, of course, B277 is like, oh, there's someone running right in front of me. Let me just go and take him down. But in that situation, you can have the remainder of the two players just shooting at B277. Apply that extra grunt pressure onto them. But like you said, CNC Genocide really not having the tournament. I think they are just having nightmares. And even despite playing 6 games, still sitting at 4 points.
Of course, as you were talking about baiting one of your teammates to get the guy down on the hilltop, of course, the guy who has the what's it called, on the high ground, he is going to be having the peeker's advantage.
Yeah.
You must have heard about the peeker's advantage. It's like even if like sometimes you see him, like you are still not going to be having an angle on him. That's just called the peeker's advantage in a game. And the peeker advantage was definitely favoring B277, and anyone who was going to be holding the high ground or any high ground in any game definitely has that peeker's advantage a lot more, and he can just keep it on, just like ducking in, shooting again, ducking in, shooting again, and that like is definitely going to be a lot more harder for you to like catch him.
Of course, but in that kind of a situation, that Exentric Infinity with they're in, I mean, they died to grenades. They could not really do anything. It's better to try and die than just die. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will be pushing for a short little break, because coming right back is the beautiful map of Miramar. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open, day number 3, Spring Split 2021, of course, the Bangladesh region. And, well, we did need a breather over there, considering how teams have been performing in the first and second game. Of course, Blood Legion definitely being the best team out there with the kind of a play, the kind of a consistency that they're showing. Now we're heading off into Miramar, and we've seen that this is the map where IPGX really shines. And, this is a team that really focuses on getting onto its the center areas really early and gets that high ground advantage for themselves. And once all these conditions are kind of met, they really flourish.
Of course they are indeed, but at the same time, they do have to work around the zones too. So yeah, the situations might be different all the time.
Yeah, the situations definitely might be different, but yesterday we rather did see a different sort of Erangel final in Miramar final circle, right? It was kind of weighed out in the open, and teams were really not comfortable in approaching that. Teams were really looking forward to having that high ground advantage for themselves, but that certainly did not happen. And now in today's Miramar, I'm really excited because zone has always been a huge factor in determining how the teams are going to play around. A lot of the teams are being really reluctant to try and contest for the center. A lot of teams are really going from edge to edge, talking about teams like Soulz of BD, and carrying forward the conversation along, because the game is finally live as we get to see the flight path trajectory moving all the way from Torre Amuda all the way to its Los Higos. So
exactly,
yeah.
The line is literally just dividing the whole map into like 2 pieces.
Yeah, it certainly is, but talking about teams like Soulz of BD, so that was a very good, performance from them in the last game. Of course, not having the best of the position points, but they certainly did make up for it in terms of kills, right? They did perform really well. Now, they will definitely have that, confidence, the booster that they needed, to raise their morals. And we've seen a lot of teams, trying to contest around the Hacienda area, the San Martin area, towards the western side of San Martin, right, rather the hills. So I'm really excited to see where the zone goes, because that's going to dictate the flow of the game.
Of course, indeed, it's going to be dictating the flow of the game. But as we talk about one of our favorite and cutest teams, it's going to be CNC. They're going to be dropping off a little bit early this time. It seems like they're heading towards El Azhar, or either they're going to Tierra Bronca.
Nah, I think they've decided to just settle down at Cruz de Valle. So I think that's a pretty good spot, but we are still in the dark about where the circle is going to go around.
Exactly.
So I think we could see a team or two around the Picardo area. So that's AR Sinister going against Team INFE. So whoa. Now this changes things a lot, considering the fact that CNC Genocide have that very good position over there. If they play their cards right, they're good to go. But Syed, he is in a lot of trouble right now, right from the early start, as we can see that cat and mouse chase going on. And finally, Deagle has managed to take him down with a VSS, a weapon that we haven't seen in a long time. Oh my goodness, just burning him to crisp. And that's absolutely brutal.
Of course, indeed, it is brutal, but at the same time, if we talk about this over here, INFE Esports, seems like they are actually in a really good spot because they are really close to the zone at the same time, or maybe they're inside the zone. I
mean, Sahil, right off the mat, he's dead.
When did this happen?
I think this happened simultaneously, as the frags were going around when Deagle was chasing the players. But Ryan, oh my goodness, this might spell disaster for the team of Blood Legion, because we know how good they are, and right in the early game they cannot afford any kind of casualties in their favor. So we'll have to be looking forward to how this team goes on, and Ryan needs to be protected right now. He needs the help of his teammates, because I think in these early games, things tend to get a lot sticky, because teams kind of, it's a huge map, let's just admit the fact. And teams tend to, kind of fall off for those vehicles, and in the meanwhile, they spot someone else also dropping along with them, and they sort of start to panic. And whichever team gets the gun first will of course have the kind of an advantage, and the other player just is lost. But well, XP Blood Legion they're doing fairly well.
Of course.
Yeah, in the San Martin area.
Of course, XP Blood Legion is definitely one of the teams that everyone should watch out for. And as we talked about Ryan, he literally just escaped his death somehow, and he's alive and healthy right now. All he needs to do is just find those nades and get himself up to the 100 HP mark back again. But as we talk about XP Blood Legion, let's just elaborate the topic here. XP Blood Legion, it has been one of the most consistent teams as so long we have seen them play. And I feel like I am an absolute fan of them, and just the way they play. Like, it's not even like they play too passive. They actually go for those aggressive kills, while at the same time they make sure they are being safe while taking those aggressive kills. It's called an aggressive passive strategy. It's like you actually push in the enemy territory, but then you just hold your positions. You don't really charge in like a headless chicken. You actually wait there, you strategize, you try to capitalize on the enemy's position situation, you try to know where they're exactly situated, use your nades and utilities a little bit more, and then we got Dominic and Gyro just pushing inside.
Yeah, I mean, kind of agree with you on that. You know, if you, but at the same point, you know, it's like two different things happening, two different strats. You're going aggressive. Then if you tend to go, you know, really defensive over there after just hitting right in front of their faces. So this lack clearly shows that it lacks conviction. You know, the only reason why you're just pushing on the face is because you want to take the squad down, right? So you're just pushing in. Either you completely push or you just back off, rather respect the circle. And in Miramar, you need to have those vehicles. You need to always be inside the circle, because in those final phases, when the 5th or the 6th circle starts kicking in and you do not have a vehicle, and say you're 200 meters away, you're basically dead. And so, you know, teams have to be really careful. I've always, time and again, repeated the same thing. You know, never disregard the circle, at least in Miramar. Because in maps, small maps like Sanhok, even you're out in the 5th and 6th circle, even if you've got to cover 100, 200 meters, it's easily possible. But, you know, with Miramar being so open, so wide, we have got those hilly areas from where the teams can absolutely get a good vision at you. So that is the thing that you might be looking out for. Again, like you mentioned about the pushes, you know, if you're going aggressive, then make sure you've got those Grens backing you up. We've not seen a lot of usage of those stun grenades coming in the PMCOs, but as we move on to the later stages, as we move on to the PMPL, maybe the World League or the GC, that's where you see those extra set of utilities, the extra strategies coming out from the teams. And you've got to say it, you know, that is the reason why they're on the top. You're pushing a compound, throw a stun grenade or to try to flush out your enemies. You get that sound cue if your teammate is just flashed, and that's your cue. That's where you push in. You know, try to distract him with a few more grenades, try to flush him out. You can do so much, but the teams are kind of, you know, reluctant in going for it.
Of course, as we talk about, you were talking about using those stun grenades. I feel like it's more kind of like they use a little bit of your inventory, like inventory slots a little bit more. But the thing is, like, yeah, it's like if you throw 2 stun grenades away, you are able to store a grenade in your inventory. Yeah. So it's like a grenade is way much more valuable when it comes to just like using a stun grenade in possible situations, because we have seen how useful the grenades can be in those end circles, and even the smoke grenades are one of the most useful and lethal if used in the right direction or in the right way. It can be the most annoying utility, a piece of utility to just go up against.
You know, that again comes down to the debate, because this is a trade-off of a grenade kill and a stun grenade. I'm talking about, you know, pushing compounds. You've got a team, you've got 4 players. You know, you've always got a support that carries majority of the utilities for your team. So that's where you give him the call out. Have a few stun grenades, because, you know, courtesy to those stun grenades, you know, if that connects, of course, they occupy less space compared to, you know, a frag grenade like you just mentioned. So you're gonna get more utility out of it. And smokes, they are absolutely essential in a map, in an open map rather, or like Miramar, because in those final circles you gotta place them in the right manner. You gotta create a direction, and then you gotta try to enter in. But as we, you know, move on along with the teams, so Team Red Army, so this is one of the teams that's having a lot of trouble, to be honest, considering the fact that you've got Macho over here. And they've not been, you know, playing really well, to be honest. They've been caught off guard every single fight that they're taking. They're getting a few knocks, but still, like I mentioned, like I always keep talking about, conviction is certainly lacking from these players.
Of course, conviction is indeed lacking from these players, as we talk about. XBL, like Blood Legions, just securing a good sort of compound. And even if you take a look, it's such a huge and beautiful view from here up here. You can literally contest so many squads rotating inside the circle. At the same time, those are going to be some freebies and 2Bs coming up for XB Blood Legions if they are successfully able to capitalize on team positions and catch those early rotations out. But as we talk about that, Leo seems like he has none of that and is going to be going solo somewhere all by himself. Doesn't really seem like the man's on a mission. He is on a hunt somewhere to go. I don't know, maybe he's just trying to go for some energy drink. He's just like, I feel like he's just more kind of like the delivery man. I don't know what he's exactly doing here. But yeah, he does have some sort of plan going up against.
Yeah, he certainly looks like it. But it was rather funny as to what Dominic was really up to. Now, Soulz of BD, now we've got entry. Oh my goodness, I need to hold on to my thoughts because we do witness the first airdrop coming in. That's the Mark 14 with, of course, an 8x scope. It's got that level 3 military vest and the helmet. Of course, as an add-on, we get to see that every single time. But you know, this is the weapon that you would need for yourself in a map like Miramar, right? In the close ranges, in the long ranges, in the mid ranges, in every single range. This weapon is so versatile. It gives you that extra power, it gives you that extra damage, and even in the close range, you know, just attach a red dot, maybe a 2x, and just spray and pray. You've got to have that cheek pad though, and a compensator really helps your cause. But as we move along, Soulz of BD finally making their way in. I really hope they respect the circle this time because I want to see this team be there in the top 8 or 10.
Of course, indeed. Like, I also want to see this team just like stepping up their gameplay a little bit more because Soulz of BD definitely has that, as we talk about, the skills to actually get on top of there. All they need to do is just show some unique ways of their strategies just to get inside there and try to contest like a better spot or better, just like a better store for themselves and much more safer positions. Because I feel like what SOB is lacking into over here is more kind of like the positioning advantage or the positioning awareness, as we like to talk it as. SOB has been contesting some of the great positions, but at the same time they are getting easily contested by a lot of the well-known squads easily.
Yeah, I mean that is definitely the case. But you know, IPG4R. So this is one of those teams that has been having their troubles lately because well, Dictator, you know, he's got a few kills. Durjoy also we did see in the map of Erangel. He did have that M24. Now this is the right time, you know, to unleash a bolt action right into the heart of your enemies. But we've had this debate time and along because now it's the DMR meta going on. Teams are really preferring because even if they miss a shot, you do not have that you know, extra reload time on those you know, bolt actions that we get to see. But well, Stranger not really having the right scope on towards this gun.
Of course, indeed, the scope's going to be a massive problem for Stranger. Indeed, as the circle shrinks, though, it's not going to be. It's going to be minimizing less to less to less, because then you just need to get those close range fights in. But as we talk about Gyro, how can we just ignore this man this whole game? This man has been putting a phenomenal show in front of our eyes, and it's just like non-ignorant. The way Gyro plays and the way Dominic plays is like these two people just keep on supporting each other. While at the same time, the support players are also doing their jobs and just anchoring them from the back, which is just an absolute peaceful thing to watch.
Now, the players of IPGX. Okay, so this is where they're playing out of the comfort zone, right? This is where they're, you know, playing towards the edges. This is a team that flourishes. This is a team that thrives around the center. So of course they would want to contest for that. But we have Darkside. He's trying to spot a few players down of IPGX. Maybe try to, you know, gather the extra information, you know. But B277, the star, the hero of Sanhok, he's just chilling around, riding his bike inside the warehouse. A lot of the other players of IPGX also do have those bikes, and I like it. I like it because in a map like Miramar, you need to have you know, those buggies. You need to have those bikes. You need to traverse around these you know, terrains really quick. But now the players of Detonators are kind of being, you know, surrounded, as we can see. Finally, Illusion really coming out for his team, getting a kill over there. So now this is a team that has been really lucky in finding all these you know, off-angle kills, finding players off guard, getting those easy shots going in, and you know, 3 players up, and they're already sitting at 3 points.
Of course, they are sitting on 3 points as well. But Blood Legion is not one of the squads that's going to be staying silent after losing one of their massive players. Blood Legion definitely wants that revenge in, but at the same time, seems like Exolution is just going to be trying to back off and just play a little bit more safer, play on the safer side, while Storm is just going to be barraging him down with those nades, but doesn't really seem like he's going to be able to throw those nades on point. Going to be missing a lot of nades in the spot as well. Trying to bust out the vehicle, seems like. Yep, indeed, he's trying to do a little bit of damage to the vehicle. As you talked about, usage of these smokes and stun grenades coming in a little bit more by Exolution. Is going to be taking another player down as well. What is going on? This is not going on in their favor at all. Another one has been taken down.
I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, we've got to give huge props to Lucian. Look at the cojones on the lad. He held himself off in that 1v3 position. Did still manage to get that frag, even surviving on merely 1 HP. You know, but the team of PXBS is Zulkar, one of those old gods of the Bangladeshi community. And I really had huge expectations from them. But, you know, they have not really been able to kick off. Now we've got Shadow. So Shadow's taken that lower ridge. He's traversing around from the lower areas, but he knows that he's the lonesome survivor. He's the lone wolf. He needs to get his team at least to a top 5, top 6 position right now. But considering the fact that INFE do not really have the vehicle control, they do not really have any vehicle to move around with, that might spell trouble in the later half of the game. But now A1 Esports has kind of closed in onto its the players of Detonators and Atomic from ERC and TRC. He's in a whole world of trouble because he's been spotted with his pants down.
Of course, indeed, he is in an absolute tragic situation. While ERZ, TRZ, if they lose one of their teammates this early on in the game, they are going to be in a massive world of trouble. At the same time, there's going to be a massive disappointment coming in through as well. As we talk about Team XC, they are going to be rotating inside on the circle from the top right corner. But seems like there's going to be a fight happening soon between EC and CNC here, and there has been a fight already happening. And yeah, CNC is going to be losing one of their teammates, it seems like. But CNC in the process is also one of the teams that I feel like will accept their defeat easily.
I mean, no. They're not definitely going to back off without a fight.
Yeah, they are.
Against Exentric, at least, you know, Shuvasa, it's a chance for him to get those 3 kills. And he can do that if, you know, they try to surround them. But at the same time, you know, Shuvasa has the concern of getting inside the circle. Oh my goodness, they are applying so much pressure. I believe they've heard us. You know, they know that they've got nothing to lose. But look at this curveball. And this is a time where A1 Esports 1952 can really come out on top.
Indeed, they can definitely come out on top if they just keep on playing like this. And the thing is, like, they need to do something really much more unique, as we talk about, a little bit more aggressive. I feel like they need to get those peaks in as fast as they can. And of course, the rotation should be on point. But as we talk about, the EC backup is here. Shuoser, C1 are just spraying the vehicle down. It seems like Max is not having a great time in rotating. But Death is just on the right side waiting, just bobbing and weaving behind the rock, getting any kind of excess information if he get. But seems like EC is going to be backing off and doesn't really want to challenge this fight anytime soon.
Yeah, he certainly does not want to. But, you know, we've got the players of Exentric, you know, Thunder. Still somehow doing fairly well. But Joy trying to apply that extra pressure. And now IPGX, you know, they're getting the taste of their own medicine. You know, they are usually the ones that have that Tiberi top position. They are the ones usually having that king of the hill position. But no, that's not the case over here. You know, they are on the lower grounds. They have to get inside the circle. A lot of the teams, you know, already have made it in. Now Cooney, he's got his eyes this time around the players of Soulz of BD. Hydra just pushing in. Anything could possibly happen. Can he get the knock though? He's just spraying down, and yes, he finds one. Can he get the second? Because now they've formed a kind of a crossfire situation. YOLO needs to stop down, but I think he's going in for his teammate to try and get him get a res onto him. But Junaid using his vehicles. Oh my goodness, he's abandoned Hydra.
This is an absolute unfortunate turn of events coming over here. With Cooney, it's taking a lot of zone damage, just chipping away. The zone is absolutely just chunking and sucking his blood inside while he's manning himself. But as we take a look at his teammate Death, seems like he is showing a lot of people their death, but this isn't really seem like he's going to be coming out on top. But doing so much damage with that spam, and he's going to be taking another one guy down. But what is really important here to see, is he going to be able to confirm those kills, though? Those kills are really far away. At the same time, the smoke grenade is providing them that temporary cover. Now over here, what Kuni can do is actually try to flank those guys that have been knocked and try to get those kills confirmed. But as we talk about that, Blood Legion over here showing an absolute performance again. Dominic back at it again, just taking people down just as if it's like nothing.
It's certainly as if like nothing. I mean, this player, he knows how to get his job done, right? He knows how to flush the enemy out. And Blood Legion, again, having a really good spot in the circle. They're still playing from the edges, though, but the good thing that you can take from here is they are in the circle. But Mahfouz, he's been knocked out, and Rare getting that beautiful, beautiful grenade going out for himself, and 2 kills coming out. And with that, Log1 has been eliminated. So Log1 is a team that started off really well in the Bangladesh region, but somewhere down the line, they've kind of fizzled out completely, not really being there, not really making it to the top 10 position even. So, this is a team that needs to wake up to the senses. I mean, they need to buckle up. But Ryan, he's cooked up a grenade. This is a beautiful fight that we can see between the top 2 teams that we have around. Yeah, and ERZ, TRZ, well, Atomic, of course, connecting onto its Leo. Now, this is going to spell trouble because now Ryan has to back off and get that res on.
Of course, indeed. He does have to get that res back on, but at the same time, Blood Legion is in a little bit of trouble. But Gyro is just chilling on the other side, and Dominic Bot as well are just chilling. It doesn't really seem like they're scared of anything at this point, because I feel like just the way these guys play is just a fearless gameplay as well. But beautiful nade coming on to Dynamic Bot. But as we talk about, Ryan is not going to be falling back as well. White Cat goes down from ERZ, TRZ. These are the top teams just going up against each other. Now it's definitely going to be a lot more interesting to see how these guys are going to be contesting each other. As we talk about Dominic Bot, going to be taking down another with him. It's just a absolute bloodfest going on.
Yeah, it certainly is. Blood Legion, they're just charging right onto the face of ERZ, TRZ as they wipe their existence and somehow also manage to, revive Leo in the process. I mean, this is beautiful. They have solidified, they have, kind of established their dominance, and they have made a point that we are here to win not just the PMCO, but also have their eyes onto the PMPL. And if they continue playing like this, the kind of aggression that they are showing, I'm pretty much sure that we are looking at a team that has qualified for the big stages.
Exactly. I mean, it's just the way they are playing. If they keep up their performance just like this all the time, they might be qualifying to the PMPLs as well. I'm not just saying might be. They have probably qualified for the PMPL.
Yeah, they certainly look prepared.
Look at how Gyro and Dominic are just racking up kills for them, and at the same time, Ryan and his other teammate are just doing a massive job in supporting them both for setting up those frags, and it's just like a beautiful, absolute beautiful turn of event for them. And at the same time, the way these guys are boarding up their strategies in front of them is just a really nice sight to watch. But as we talk about, XP Blood Legion might be in a little bit of trouble if they lose their star player Dominic.
Yeah, there certainly might be in a whole world of trouble, but they are actually going in for the revival. But Marshall can be the difference maker, as you can catch Cairo with off guard. So right now, we've got detonators. That is a beautiful grenade coming out from Gyro. He's just trying to press in. Well, Ignite, a beautiful knock coming out, but gets traded off right off the bat. Just grenades coming out and doing so much damage. Lightning barely surviving with a sliver of HP. Ryan has also been taken down. IPGX, the final player, falls down, of course, to Venom from elsewhere. It's absolute pandemonium going on over here. And Leo, I believe he's the last survivor, and they just took so much fights at the same time, and they could not handle. As Leo, he's just popping up those first aids, and we've got to see if he's actually going to be able to make it inside the circle, as Lightning does a fairly decent amount of damage in trying to take out a few players of IPG4 Arc.
D9 looking in an absolute tragic situation over here, using those smoke grenades just to provide a little bit of temporary cover. But at the same time, rezzing his teammate. Lightning is doing an absolute great job as a medic. At the same time, Lightning might have a little bit of pressure on his head as well, because Lightning is one of the most star players for this team. So he has to perform as well as play the support role. At the same time, use those utilities. It's just going to be a lot more harder. But as we talk about, two guys are going down from Team EC, and that's going to be an absolute tragic moment coming up for them.
That was a massive lapse coming in from their side. But SLX finally having such a disastrous start into the tournament. They're looking promising. They made it to the top 6, and Exentric Infinity also taking an exit at the 9th position with just 2 kills. It's not acceptable considering we know how good this team is. But right now, well, Detonators, they're really enjoying themselves. They've got 3 of their players alive. They've got 5 kills racked up for themselves, made it to the top 6. What else could you ask for? Now they've got their eyes set on the top 3 position. But Blood Legion finally taking an exit, but of course with some decent number of kills. Again, then, just trying to increase the lead over there in the leaderboard.
Indeed, they need to increase their lead on the leaderboard. But as we talk about SLX, Sketch just throwing out a lot of nades, just barraging it on the enemy team. But at the same time, doesn't really seem like he's going to be managing to connect any nade. But as we talk about XC Fahim, it's going to be going down. And that's going to be another team eliminated. That's going to be XC vs Esports. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, at this point of the situation, we can't really, say anything to these players because it's so chaotic towards the end. You've got one fight and then you've got the next, again, another fight coming up for you. But this is really promising from the players of SLX because now they've got their players in. There's just that one player, Sketch. He's just lying down, crawling. I do not think that's a good time to get that rest back on. But look at Baby Shark. I mean, he's just going in for those heal battles, getting those first aids for himself. But I think he's pretty much a goner after this. But I think SLX really have a good time. He knows that he's gonna die. So better as well die in fashion. But this is really promising from the Red Army. And now Detonators are playing so very well. So now these are the 2 teams that haven't been really popping off hard. But finally, one of these teams is of course definitely getting a chicken dinner, and this is gonna help them a lot. Both these teams are gonna earn enough points for them. So we're gonna see a huge rise coming from the bottom half of the table this time around.
Indeed, as we talk about SLX, they have all their people up, so they are in a really comfortable spot. But at the same time, the enemy team is not really in a comfortable spot because they only have 2 of their teammates alive. So it's going to be a lot more harder for them to contest this end zone because it's going to be a 2-on-4 situation. So it's definitely going to be a lot more harder. The utility usage has to be the in point. Well, at the same time, you need to hold those circles in. But as we talk about SLX, 2 players from SLX go down. Beautiful M46X spray coming in from Confused.
I mean, this is where the tides have started changing, right? The circle, of course, favoring the players of Detonators. I mean, yeah, you've got the numbers advantage. It's 2v4, but still, you've got to get inside the circle. How are you going to do that? Simple trick. Have one of the players, Zaman, stay on the back lines. Remainder of the players just try to push in. Tell him to give that, quintessential cover fire, and that's where you're going to get your job done. But we've got to see if the players of SLX have really figured themselves out as to how they're going to commit to this circle because they are outside. They've got to get in 45 meters, and in these final circles, under these circumstances, it's going to be a pretty tough task.
Indeed, it's going to be a pretty tough task. Well, as we just look at Zem 69, he's just going to be spraying with his M44X, just trying to get those suppression shot in. So Confused is not going to be peeking out when they're trying to make the rotation. As we just look at it, they are just spraying around. They don't have any intentions of hurting, but at the same time, they just don't want the enemy team to peek out. But as we talk about not intention of hurting, Confused taking a lethal amount of damage, and we talk about that. One more knockdown goes from SLX, and this is going to be a really unfortunate turn of events.
Yes, that certainly is. And we were kind of predicting this, right? Now, things are so much stacked up in the favor of the players of Detonators. They've got the higher ground. They've got the better of the circle. Now they've got just 4 enemies in front of him. And all that SLX have to work around is with the numbers advantage that they have. Because if Detonators have a few grenades and they kind of apply that extra bit of pressure, which I believe they don't, considering how many fights they've been, engaging in. So we'll have to see, as eventually the end game ends, who's gonna come out as the winner, because both these teams are relentless. They're just fighting hard. They understand the value, the virtue, that's something that they are gonna get out of this chicken dinner. If they're so imperative that they get one, because after that you're gonna get that morale really boosted up, as we are waiting for the 7th circle to start closing in, and the 8th circle has finally formed. Now this is where they're playing it smart. They've got one of those players watching the backline, but this is not the time to pop in a first aid, because your teammates are rotating, and you need to synergize with your teammates over there to get on with the fights.
Indeed you do, but SLX doesn't really seem like they have a really good piece of cover. But they just have that trucks and just a little bit of rocks around them as to use their cover, and even the car as a temporary cover. So SLX might be struggling in the cover side as well, but at the same time, if we talk about Detonator, they do have a massive amount of cover for them. They have that ridge, they have that tree in front of them, but at the same time, the tree is not going to be enough for helping them out. But I feel like the ridge itself is going to be enough for him to cover his life.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a standstill right now.
Yep,
Both these, yeah, I mean, at this point, I start to wonder, do they even have enough ammo? Because look at Confused, he's just got 19 bullets, and he needs to get that reload on. And just one spray is all he can do, and I'll have to check out how much other ammo. Oh, he's finally got some from his teammate. Yeah, so much bullets being used over there, and finally, it's gonna come down. Who's gonna get the better of it? Now the circle has sort of shifted into the favor of the players of SLX, and now they make no mistake, get that chicken in, as the players of Detonators had to make their way inside the circle, and that's where the numbers, the zone favoring Team SLX ironic, and 23 points from this game. Now this is gonna help them a lot, because when the overall standings did come out, we did see they were kind of trailing behind, and they were in the bottom half. And after this, they've managed to, you know, step up onto its 11th position.
Indeed, one of the most unexpected teams to take the chicken dinner away, just stealing that prize away from all the other teams, and getting that chicken dinner for themselves. But SLX has been showing a really fantastic job in all these games today. But at the same time, if we take a look at Detonator, how they played out, I feel like, yeah, they were falling less on those utilities. At the same time, they were falling less on the ammo too. But yeah, they did try their best to contest down SLX. SLX had that massive man advantage on them. But yeah, slowly Detonator just started crumbling down one by one.
Yeah, I mean, he's of course started doing that, but you know, you can't really, say anything much to his Detonator. They did all they could. They put their hearts out on the line. But let's take a look at the MVP of this particular game and see which was one of those players that came out on top. That was Confused from, of course, Detonator. So this 4 kills, 783 damage. Yeah, pretty much good. But one thing that I really liked about the teams that they were not shying away from taking battles in those mid-game phases. So a lot of fights happening. Well, XP Blood Legion, they were doing initially really good, wiping out a squad like ERZ, TRG. That's massive, you know. They've made themselves, kind of cemented that they are the best team right now amongst all the 32 teams that we have. So taking down teams like, ERZ, TRG is definitely gonna give them that push. But likewise, what I would really point out as is the fact that they've had so much fights going around. So let's take a look at the top players that are going to be joining Confused and see who they are.
Indeed, if we take a look at that, Confused. One thing I would really like to point out here, this game wasn't really kill-heavy game.
Yeah.
If you take a look, Confused is literally just has 4 kills, and at the same time, he's one of those top players. So this game wasn't really one of those like kill-heavy games, but at the same time, yeah, we did see a lot more strategies coming out this game, which is pretty rare from Bangladesh recently. If we talk about, yeah, they were playing a little bit more safe. As we saw, they were contesting for those high grounds early on as well.
You know, now the teams have started realizing, right, that time and we do not have enough matches for ourselves. So we did try to go really aggressive, but this is where we need to tone it down a bit. And this can be two ways, right? Either, now this can be a really good thing in the sense that everyone has got some kills for themselves, because we've seen very low numbers over there. We've not seen anyone popping off with 10 kills. So that clearly means that, you've got that equal kill distribution throughout the lobby. Everyone kind of getting a kill or two each, and kind of that kind of a balance is maintained and restored. So which is really a good thing. But now let's take a look at the match summary and see how, the other stats really did come out. So longest distance kill, Magneto getting that. Yeah, A1 Esports, 952. They were in the circle, they were in the center, and they completely messed it up yet again.
Indeed, they did, but at the same time, Confused has been there, like twice on this leaderboard over here. If you guys take like highest damage, Confused is the one who has dealt. And at the same time, highest kills are only 4. As I talked about, not a really a high kill potential game that was the previous one. But 305 meter longest kill, not definitely the longest one we have seen so far. As considering like there was almost a 300 meter kill even in Sanhok, if we talk about that. So yeah, it was a little bit not really kill friendly game, but yeah, it was more kind of like reliant on the strategy strategy and just like a passive gameplay all.
I think this is what we're gonna expect in the remainder of the matches that we have from these teams, because they've already gone against each other. They know how to play this around. But yeah, again, I have to come back to A1 Esports 952. The way the circle was panning out, it was right favoring them. And considering the potential that this team has, considering the potential that these boys have shown us in the past, the performances, I mean, I do not know what's wrong with them. They're kind of messing up by Aeons, and you have teams, new teams rather, like Blood Legion, ERZ, TRZ coming up, and you know, showing the performance, proving the mettle, even outside the circle. They're getting some kills. They're neither getting kills, neither getting position points. What are they doing? As we set into the match rankings and have a glimpse at how things turned out in Miramar.
Indeed, things did turn out pretty good for SLX Ironics, though, as we talk about 15 placement point for those chicken dinner, 8 kills overall, and total points only 23. Not a pop-off game for them, as we talked about. Not really that many points coming out from this entire game, though. But yeah, definitely a solid game from them. But as we talk about the second position too, overall points, they only have 23, not really far away from SLX Ironics. But I feel like that win is definitely going to be giving SLX Ironics a little bit of booster on those leaderboards.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely is going to give. Now, the teams like, you know, A1 Esports 952, they got that 4th position. Of course, that's good. 13 points out of it. Fairly nice. But considering the potential, I would have expected them to get the chicken. But, you know, the misery, the woes kind of continues for the teams like Exentric Infinity, even Soulz of BD. I mean, after what this showed us, after how they played in Sanhok, I really thought that they're going to keep this one up. They've got a good chance in getting a few more kills racked up for themselves. Look at CNC Genocide, though. They've got a good, decent position points. They've got those 2 kills. 6 points is definitely, you know, a good advantage. But Log 1, what has happened to them? I mean, I can't believe the kind of a downfall that they're having, you know, they're descending so quickly down below, as we take a look at the Oppo moments of the day and see how this map of Miramar really turned out.
As you were talking about LOG1, I feel like they were showing a little bit of really bad performance on these all 3 games. We haven't really seen LOG popping off, or not, neither even in their name in those kill feeds as well. They are just getting eaten up by all the other squads. So LOG indeed definitely deserve the position that they are at right now.
Yeah, I mean, they would want to, you know, try to kind of improvise the situation that they're in, because if they keep on playing like this, you know, with just 1 game remaining today and a couple of remaining the next day, I think they're pretty much done after that. And I don't know, I do not really know what to say at this, because I know these players had started off, they had that spark. And it's just like, you know, it's just feeling like a matchstick, you know, you just burn it, you know, it's kind of shines and in all its glory and then just burns out. So you need to keep that fire running. You cannot let it extinguish, you know, you have to be there every single game. I'm not asking a lot out of these teams. I'm not asking you to get chickened in every single time, because you know in battle royales you do not always get the better of the zone. So that's gonna affect you, but you need to get the kills. You know, whatever you are, you know, just need to work around with it. As we take a look at the overall rankings and see how these teams have, you know, fared off. And now Blood Legion with the 123 points. So they're looking so good. They're looking so solid right now. I mean, ERZ, TRZ, they're just 1 point shy from the century.
Indeed, they are, but I was definitely a lot more interested in looking at the overall ranking as we talk about Blood Legion just freezing their position on the top. No one's going to be touching them or even pulling their pants down from where they are right now, because it's definitely going to be a lot more harder for them to reach. Yeah, they have already qualified their spot inside in from what I think so. But at the same time, if we take a look at all these other teams, for example, Big Boss, we haven't really seen this, like this team was playing yesterday in the games. Yeah, this team was playing a little bit decent, but yeah, there are still upcoming days coming up, and Big Boss might show up themselves, because this team was definitely playing a lot more better yesterday.
I would like to bring the attention of our viewers to INFE Particle. So this is a team that got the first blood. This is a team that has been playing fairly well in terms of kills, but in terms of positions, they're completely lackluster. You know, they do not know what they're doing. They're getting caught off guard in different situations, and you know, when getting isolated and being picked one after the other, you need to understand, you need to go back to the basics, right? Stick together as a four-man team. Try to play how the Pakistani region players do. They are a solidified unit. They push it together. They do everything together over there. So try something like that. You do not really have to try out the multiple splits that we have seen in the other regions. I mean, those players are individually very, very skilled. And, trying the same thing without the mechanical skills that you're lacking, so that is completely going down. But right now, we're going for a short little break because coming up next is the final game of Erangel. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to day number 3 of PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021 Bangladeshi region, of course, sponsored by our amazing Oppo Reno 5. So now we are heading into the final game of Erangel. So which team do you think is going to come out on top on this one?
My favorite team, you already know.
Blood Legion?
Of course, come on, man. How can you not know that?
I mean, it was kind of conflicted with ERZ and TRZ. Okay, so now you've gone with Blood Legion. We want some, different flavors. I'm going with ERZ, TRZ for this one. And let's see which one of us is going to walk off home. And I mean, we need to wager it out. I'll go with a chicken dinner from your side. And either ways, if you win from my side, that's a treat. So, yeah. From Stalbert to its quarry is where the flight path is heading towards. And I think it has kind of fairly supported the teams, right? It has kind of fairly supported the players. They are getting that room, they're getting that space to do whatever they want. So we'll have to see, how this kind of pans out.
Exactly, indeed. And as you talked about getting yourself a treat, I'm definitely excited to see. And now my all money is on Blood Legions. Please don't let me down over here. But as we head inside the game, we are taking a look at all these teams just going in self. And I feel like strategizing and giving Erangel as the main importance over here. All these teams might have the best strategy coming up against and in Erangel. So one team that you really wanted to come on top was SOB. So they are heading towards Siverny and seems like shooting range. So what are your thoughts? Like, how are they going to be playing it out? Because they are on the top, and if they're not going to be able to contest the vehicles as early as possible and get those early rotations in, they might be in a world of troubles. Because just look at the center of the zone. It's just filled with all of these little flies all across this place. Because it's not even it's even hard to read the names of the places.
Starting things off with Team Soulz of BD, they've got nothing to worry about because there's no one even nearly as close. So they'll definitely get those vehicles. And of course, they've taken an early plunge with Siverny. So they've got that extra time to loot. So this time they're going to come in stacked. But Zulkar,
true,
not where he's supposed to be.
Indeed, he's just all by himself. So
he's got the shotgun.
Oh my God! Wait, is he AFK or is he just holding
he's just
the angle?
waiting. Not really making any noise.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Oh yeah, I see him.
But Shadow is there for the cover fire, though.
Indeed, he is. Saeed doesn't really seem like he knows where he is. So Zulkar
he has an idea.
He just has a rough idea, a rough sketch in his mind, a rough drawing. But Saeed doesn't really have it. Saeed, you are in a world of trouble, my guy, and you need to back off instantly.
I think he's got that cover fire coming in, but the moment he tries to go, jumping inside that opportunity, hop in your way, and that's where Zulkar's got that shotgun. So your movement is of course restricted, and this might be pure genius. Now I would have loved it. I also kind of like the position that Shadow is really in, but we've got to wait and see if Mission can actually spot out Shadow, because that's going to give a lot of information. If they kind of deploy those smokes and then make a push, but still Zulkar, he's got that shotgun, man. That's devastating.
Oh my God, look at this.
Yeah. Nothing happened.
What? I think so. The nade just went outside the shack from the front window.
Yes, I think that's exactly what happened. Had that ricocheted.
Oh my God. That is so lucky.
look at Gengar. He's already dead now.
Oh
now.
my god, another. Oh my god.
Still
oh my god,
lucky.
Oh my god, please, please don't
The
die.
gods want him to stay alive. He's not gonna die.
Oh
He's
my
immortal
god.
right now. Oh, his barrel really being shown up. Now, Machine does know where exactly he is. And he's gonna take his own sweet time in taking him down.
Indeed, Zolkar is in a really tragic spot while his teammates are trying their best to give him cover fire. But one thing we need to really notice here, this Water City is not really the best place to get a good loot in. And if you're going to be wasting most of your time in just contesting one squad against it and just wasting a lot more time in Water City, even if you manage to kill that team, you're not going to be coming on top with a lot of loot. So I feel like at least one of these teams should back out and try to go for another compounds and just contest those small compounds in general, as well as we talk about. There are some shots fired over here.
An interesting fight. I never really anticipated, I'll be witnessing the first fight breaking down in Water City. I mean, I don't understand what these teams find so good about this place. You do not have a good movement space, and if you're caught in while you're just moving around to a different compound, you just have to hop your way in. And in that fraction of seconds, the other team who's got a better position, a better cover, can really take you down. But Exentric Infinity, again, this time somehow they've made it to Lipovka. Now, Lipovka is a place which is not enough for a 4-man squad. It does not provide you that much loot that you would want. So we've seen a lot of teams, trying to switch things around. 3 of the players going to the Lipovka area, or just 2 of the players going to the Lipovka area, and the other 2, maybe trying to loot around mansion and the nearby compounds. But you need to be very careful in those situations. So we still have that contestation going between PXBS over there. So anything can possibly happen. But A1 Esports, they're also doing fairly well as the deadlock has finally been broken as Machine goes down to Storm.
Indeed, it's going to be Storm firing a little bit of suppressive fire as we talk about almost getting caught off guard while he's trying to jump outside. Saeed going to be capitalizing on Storm's position. A really unfortunate turn of events coming on their side, and this is going to be a massive loss for them. Storm has been doing a lot of things for them. FPXB loses Storm early off. This is going to be really sad for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a disaster coming out from Storm. He had no reason
First blood as well.
Yeah, he had no reason to make that push. He got that knock, but he could not get that kill. So, of course, that does not really count. Now, AR Sinister. So, they're in a whole world of trouble. But because Shadu is over there, and they've already lost out on a player, PXBS. But are they going to get back? Are they going to redeem themselves? That's the bigger question. A grenade being popped out. Where's the other of the teammates? They're playing it so safe. You either go in or you just don't go. I mean, as simple as that. And teams are not really understanding the simple fact.
Indeed, they aren't really understanding the simple fact. But as we take a look at PXBS Gengar, he does have a really solid view on Saeed, but doesn't really seem like he's aware of Saeed's position. If he was, I'm pretty sure he was going to be tunnel visioning on just that one spot. But as we talk about Zolkar and his teammate, they are playing inside one compound, and they are going to be holding and contesting that compound for themselves, playing defensive as much as they can because it's a 4-on-3 situation. At the same time, you are not really coming on top with a lot of good loot, so they have to play and try to save as many as bullet and utilities as they can because it's already a lot more late and they are not going to be wasting their time in looting more houses.
Yeah, but as we move along with the game, Gengar, he's just proning around. That also does give away those sound cues. So PXBS, I think the only reason they're not committing is they do not know where the last player is. And this grenade, could have done so much.
Almost
yeah.
made it. If that was a little bit more down, I feel like Gengar was getting knocked 101% without any doubt.
Yeah, now we've got Club Machine. He's trying to get aggressive on his own. Now, this is a good time to do that. Now, the aggressors are now the oppressed, right? Now, the hunters are starting to get hunted. So it's a back and forth fight happening right along the Water City area. So whoever is the victor does not really get much to work around with because they're kind of wasting so much time. And, Loggy, 6x. So
no, Blood Legion, please don't crumble down like this. My money's on you. I need the treat so bad. But at the same time,
needs to do this now.
No. Logwood needs to die over here, okay? My money's on Blood Legion. Come on. But at the same time, if we take a look and try to analyze the gameplay over here, but it does really seem like even if like Blood Legion has one of their players going down, Blood Legion is looking in a pretty comfortable spot. But now Logix is just... Oh my god, what is this going on? He is just behind that wall. Does Dominic realize and capitalize on his enemy's position is what we need to see. I feel like Dominic does have the info that he is just behind that wall. But at the same time, XB Blood Legion have successfully managed to get their teammate up. The nades are coming in through. At the same time, Dominic Bot has been traded out by Log1's teammate. And this is going to be a lot more tragic for XB Blood Legion because the smoke is going to be fading away soon. And Log1 is just being really aggressive. Boy wants those kills that are being taken down, but doesn't really seem like Boy's going to be too aggressive. At the same time, Ryan is going to be taking another Log1's teammate down.
Yeah, of course. Now Leo's back on Gyro. He's doing the wonders, and somehow, by the best case, well, Blood Legion still managed to survive. They've gotten that one squad wiped right off the bat. But this was a promising attempt from Log1. But at the same time, the question arises: can you afford to do things like that? I mean, you're going against the best team in the lobby, in the server, and possibly and in fact even in the leaderboards. And you know, at the time where you need to start increasing your points, you are eliminated right from the start. You did not get a single kill out of this game, and you got eliminated in the 16th position. So 0 points coming out from for the squad.
Exactly, indeed. Log1 has been eliminated by one of the best teams in the game currently, by Blood Legions. Yeah, of course, it's going to be harder competition for them to come out on top. But as we take a look at it, PXBS's fights going on over here, Gengar is on a killing spree over here. They want that blood. At the same time, Zulker and Sheru is going to be in a really bad spot. They have really less HP. It doesn't really seem like they are going to be having those meds for themselves, though. But it does seem like Sheru is going to be healing, medkitting himself up. That's going to be giving him the 400 HP. Gengar trying to rotate around, trying to spot the guy inside the shack. Going to be spotting him, does know his exact position, but doesn't really seem like he has those nades to flush him out. So they're just going to be playing a little bit holding situation. Just going to be a stare down going on at this point.
Yeah, I mean, again, this fight has suddenly come to a standstill. At Dark Side is kind of looking to retreat from over here. He's got nothing really to play around with. Look at his loot. He's got that level 3 armor. That's sweet. But apart from that, just a fair state. And I do not know if he's got enough to survive in those last circles. But right now, XLX, they're looking really promising, of course, after that chicken in Miramar. And if they get one more, top 3 position with, say, around 8 to 10 kills, they're right back in the race for the top 16 position.
Indeed, they are right back into the place. But as we talk about SOB, though, SOB has been really quiet this whole game. We haven't really seen their name in the kill feeds coming up so far. But what is this? What is SLX doing here? SLX is just making a small room for all these cars and using them as a temporary cover. But if another team just tries to spray all those cars down, then it's going to be a really bad situation coming up for SLX, and they might just get blown away with those cars. While Detonator looking really comfortable in the spot that they are. Lightning, we saw how lethal this man can get sometimes. But yeah, as we talk about A1 1952, yeah, they are also in a great spot. If we take a look at them, they have that hilltop, they have the stone covering them, and yeah, it's just an overall really healthy situation looking for Magneto.
Yeah, I mean, A1 Esports, the last game did turn out mediocre, getting 30 points out of this run, and C Minor just rattling those bullets from the DP28. And, well, Illusion, he's making a run. He's like, guys, I'm out of here. But Deagle, what does he do? He's caught in such a sticky spot. He's just proning in one good shot.
Beautiful
there you
shots.
go. There you go. Crisp, precise, and Deagle goes knocked out.
Indeed, INFEX, Deagle YT has been gone down. Deagle is going to be really disappointed after that one. Even INFE has been one of the most star teams that we have seen so far in this whole tournament, and losing a man this early in the spot where there are 15 teams alive and you are going to be only 3 men surviving and your 4th teammate is going down a grave. It's definitely going to be so disappointing for INFE. As we talk about that, TRA Baby Shark getting another knockdown.
Yeah, that he has. But one thing for sure A1 Esports, 1952. Now, they've made a lot of noises, okay? So, Team Detonator do surely know who's just around them and what they're up to. But Tawfiq, okay, so this is a team that I am rooting for. ERC, TRC in contention. Now, Atomic is in that very, very stickish wooden shack situation, which is caught. And, oh, goodness. Again, we're going to see a rematch over here as Blood Legion are just passing by from up top. And ERC, TRC trying to retreat, and White Card really getting some beating out there from Gyro X, and Dictator taking down SLX's Saman. So that's a fight that's happening elsewhere, but that's a really good way to park your vehicles. I mean, they're not even able to get inside.
Certainly, they would have to switch their seats and just get inside. But as we focus on the situation that is happening in front of a Hydra, doing lethal damage to One Shot, this is going to be a really bad spot for A1 1952. One Shot has gone down. A really tragic situation coming up for SOB, but SOB is getting their teammate up back as well. Now, Entry is going to be healthy soon if he decides to heal himself instantly after that. But Junayati seems like he's going to be wrapping around. He's going to be flanking A1 at the same time. He knows that there are people behind the tree and doesn't really seem like he cares about them. He's just going to spray the vehicle that is in front of him. Going to be missing a lot of shots in the process as well, but decides to take the cover behind the tree. Now, Junayati, beautiful decision making coming in from him. He's going to be waiting for his teammates to back him up because he knows A1 1952 Magneto is just behind that rock, and he is going to be waiting for his teammates to, for giving him cover as well. But the utilities will be coming in soon. At the same time, using those smoke grenades on time and getting that temporary cover for yourself to back off. But Junaiti is going to just going to be finishing that kill that he had knocked before.
You know, you've been asking about the fact that where is Soulz of BD. There you go. 2 kills already for this squad, and you know, they rotated from Siberni this time. They're making things right. You know, still they're in the race, and you know, one chicken might just make themselves feel really happy about themselves, because you know, I know these lads have got more than more to offer than what they're really doing. But Dark Side, all right, Leo. You're not supposed to miss shots like that. I mean, considering that we've seen better performance from this lad, but it's, of course, his teammate Dominic just wiping him out, and he's staring into oblivion.
He's just looking at the sky and looking at how beautiful the scenery is, because if he looks around himself, all he's seeing just people dying. So he needs a time off from that. He needs a mental reset. So he's just going to be looking at the sky, remembering the God, saying to God, God, I'm sorry for shedding so much blood, but I don't have any other choice because I want that chicken dinner. I want to get my name and freeze my position on the top because I don't want any other teams stealing that position away tomorrow from us. As we talk about that, it seems like SLX is in a tough spot because not all of them are looking good. They are not on full HPs, but at the same time, they have boosted themselves up, so they will be healing on eventually. MK14 in the care package with a level 3 vest and a level 3 helmet. And yeah, of course, I mean, like, no one's going to be contesting the airdrop. Like, I bet $100 on it.
Yeah, I mean, no one's definitely going to do that. But right now, Soulz of BD, Entry's got a kill for himself. And Entry, oh my goodness, he's just getting traded off. And finally, the Red Army, you know, stepping up. So today, we've seen teams, you know, that are in the bottom half of the table. They're kind of collecting a lot of points. If not the chicken dinner, of course, ISLX did get one. But, you know, the remainder, TRA, even in Miramar, that was a promising performance. That was a valiant effort. They got some 10, 12 points out of it. So that's something that I really like. But Zulkar still keeping the fight against our lovely favorite team. That's CNC. Now this is where we have to eat our mouths, you know, eat our words that we just spoke. You know, teams are actually going in for their airdrop now.
They are. Oh yes, I love it. I love it. I love when teams actually go and contest those airdrops. I feel like mostly they went for the airdrop because yeah, they were contesting the positions really close and near the airdrop, so they were like, you know what? Might as well get that level 3 helmet as well and that level 3 vest and a little bit of medkit too, you know, just to top it on, just, you know, just the icing on the cake. And at the same time, if we take a look at IPG for Dictator, going to be going down. Unfortunate turn of events, but Gengar has been traded out instantly as well. And there comes PXBS Esports has been eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in the thick and thins of it, starting off in Water City, not really having a lot of loot to play around. They did get a few kills, however, and there you go, XCVS, wiping out the existence of CNC Genocide as their misery, the brutality against them kind of continues. So now we've got two teams right in front of each other, and both of them having their own dome over there for the shelters, so they can play around that. As the circle, again, we are seeing that shelter zone. So last time we did see Team Bhai Brothers trying to just keep A1 Esports 952 inside the shelter, and I think it was the players of XCVS that got a few kills out of it. So this is a team that really loves to play this area. So if the circle kind of ends onto it, then maybe they can walk off with the chicken, because the kind of a consistent performance that this team is showing, I think they also deserve one.
Indeed, they also deserve one, but as we talk about all these teams on the top, they have all 4 of their players alive. XP Blood Legion has all 4 of their players alive too. All the teams have to watch out from them as well, because they have been absolutely just dominating the whole scene of Bangladesh region. So they need to actually try to melt their ice cream down as fast as they can, and they need to stop that freezing spot. But it doesn't really seem like anyone's going to be focusing on them for now, because Blood Legion is absolutely in a peaceful spot. Now EC over here, if we take a look at EC, Team EC over here, EC, I mean, like, EC has been playing like a little bit questionable, but at the same time, yeah, they have been securing those high like spots for them, like high survival spot and high positioning points as well. But yeah, I mean, they haven't really been doing exceptionally well. Well, as we take a look at C-Wine and Riddle, yeah, they have been playing really well. Like, Riddle is doing a really great job in assisting C-Wine as well. But yeah, I just feel like overall they need to do something, and they need to step their game up to get on top there.
Yeah, I mean, Exentric Infinity, like you mentioned, they're kind of looking really lost, they're trying to figure out, they're trying to try different strats. But, I would really love to see that aggressive side of it, because that is what was working. But, D-Quad getting that knock onto its the final player of Detonator, and, well, this team falls down as well. So the circle kind of taking that curveball towards the northeastern side, where we have the players of Soulz of BD really holding on to its epicenter. And now this is a place where Exentric Infinity can really shine. They've got the better of the circle. They've got C-Wine on that flank angle, who's taking a lot of beating from the players of A1 Esports 952. Now this is something that he has to be really careful about. Now IPGX, Mahfouz has been fallen everywhere. The kill feed has started to dance, as everyone needs to just rotate inside the circle and just fight.
Indeed, as we talk about SLX, though, Execute 69 just trying to flush out enemy position, just throwing just nade at a blank spot. Doesn't really seem like what he's doing, but Executed, yeah, he thinks that there is someone there, but there isn't really anyone there. It's just a little bit paranoid after just so many fights happening, and yeah, we do understand why that happens most of the time. But if we take a look at the circle has moved in a really open spot, so there are a lot of kills happening at the same time, a lot of teams getting eliminated. So many utility usage coming in. As we talk about, IPGX Marshall has eliminated the complete team of Infernal, Parasite. GX is going downhill. Absolute bad turn of events coming up for them, and has been capitalized instantly. As we talk about Leo, seems like Leo has been spotted by one of the teammates there.
Yeah, of course he has been, but right now, White Card and TRZ. So this is the team that I've been rooting out for, but not really having the best of the mid game, because they've got to get themselves into the circle. And look how many enemies are one with the nature. Everyone just pruned out, and now, well, Mamba, he's looking like he wants to strike, and Error right in front of him. But two teammates just pushing at the same time, just proning out, just revealing so much, giving away so much information. The Red Army, they might just be ambushed from different sides, but Jerry getting that knock onto its Stranger. And XCVS, this is also one of those teams that has been really playing so very well tonight in the evening. So now, Baby Shark, well, he's got to deal with Dominic though. Can he do that?
Of course, he will be able to deal with Dominic if he just plays all the points out well and perfectly. But as we talk about TRA, the team has been really disappointing all their fans up since a really long time in all these tournaments. And if we take a look at Zam too, I mean, he hasn't really been showing up as well. As we talked about yesterday and day before yesterday, Zam was definitely putting on a show for his fans up there. But Yeah, Error 404 definitely trying to do as much as he can, but I feel like he should stop shooting and actually keep his position private and try to keep it as much a secret as possible. Because right now he is just giving his position away. Even though TRA has all their teammates alive, he is getting flushed out by Rare's nade though, taking a little bit of damage. But as we talk about, gonna be crouching out of the grasses and just gonna be spraying Rare down. Such unfortunate situation coming up for Rare. Definitely did not expect Error to be so close.
Yeah, right now as the circle has started closing in, you know, the sixth circle, the circle of death as we call it. Now we'll have to see Error, what is he going to do? How is he going to fend off the players of ERZ, TRZ? And it was a good chance, but Mamba just spraying down, rattling the bullets, and Error finally getting that beautiful knock, but, you know, still does manage, you know, to get himself taken down. So it's complete chaos. Yeah, that's completely unfortunate. But Marshall, oh my goodness, right in front of the enemies, and they're kind of helpless. They still did not know where he is. He got a knock, and he also got a kill out of it.
Unfortunate turn of events for them as well. But as we talk about, oh my god, the both of them are just next to each other and finally gonna get a kill. INFE Illusion eliminating the complete squad of TRA. Unfortunate turn of events as we all are talking about, but Illusion is absolutely happy about that kill that he have gotten for free over there. And now SOB was one of the teams that you wanted to survive in the end circles as well. And seems like they are certainly being successful and playing and actually minding their gameplay at the same time, playing really safe, using that grass as a cover, just you being a little snake and just like snaking around. As we talk about that, XC Demon seems like he is pulling out an A and throwing it on Thunveer HS there, but it's not going to be connecting it. INFE Thunveer is in a really good and healthy state right now.
You know, right now, what I love, I'm loving is exactly the players of XCVS really bringing in on the hate, and I think they might be the new favorites to win this one out. But SOBD and INFE got particle. These are of the two teams that have really impressed us. But Exentric Infinity again getting eliminated at the 7th spot with just 2 kills. Okay, this is pretty mediocre, but you know, I really expected them to go really aggressive and ham. But you know, XCVS, you know, they have been relentless. They've been persistent. The perseverance has been there, and this chicken dinner might just be coming in home until and unless they completely mess it up.
Indeed, as you talk about messing it up, INFE is in a really good spot. Now, as we take a look at Illusion, it's just he has made like a little bit of like a coffin for him, and yeah, it's just like it's quite safe inside that. But as we talk about that, ERZ TRZ Esports has been completely eliminated out of the game. Unfortunate for ERZ TRZ there. They have been popping off a lot in the previous games as well. But as we talk about INFE, what is happening here? It seems like he was just gliding across. But if we take a look at XC Jerry has been playing really good in all these games. Like it's been just really fortunate events coming up for him.
Yeah, of course. But, you know, right now, IPG4, they are so good. You know, they're getting those kills. And INFE, I'm loving from what I'm witnessing. I mean, they've got 8 kills. They've got that last player surviving. That's Illusion. And they've done majority of the job. But it's XEVSE that deserve this chicken coming out from them. But with just that one player remaining, it's going to be really far-fetched. But Soulz of BD, of course, having the best chances because they've got that higher ground. They have nothing to worry about. They just have to let the game simmer because all these teams are definitely going to fight amongst themselves. Now, Jerry has got that beautiful Krolza and, of course, the ghillie suit, something that he can use to his advantage in this particular place. But I believe Durjoy might have spotted him down.
Exactly, indeed. And if you got Particle has been eliminated too, indeed. But at the same time, if we take a look at all these top 3 teams that are left, SOB is one of your favorite. If I'm not really sure if it is, but yeah, you definitely wanted this team to like survive in the late games. As we talk about, YOLO X is taking a lot of damage. Unity doesn't really seem like he want to give his position away, but the buggy in front of him is definitely getting busted soon. You need to back out of that buggy as fast as you can. Just bust that buggy out exactly is what he's going to be doing, because busting it out doesn't mean that you are going to get blown by it anymore. So which is the best thing you can ever do. Junai making a little bit of cover for himself, just a temporary cover coming up from Junai just to, you know, like distract the minds of IPG4 for a while. It's not going to be doing much though, but yeah, they are going to be having their eye on Junai. But yeah, just a little bit of distraction coming in from him.
Yeah, I mean, things have started heating up, right? Right now he's dug his own grave over there with that smoke. You know, of course, you're trying to save yourself, but what are you doing? You completely shielded your vision. And now, Junaid, he does not know where the enemies are going to come in from. Now, this has given the players of IPG4 Arc so much room to just rotate around. Even if they want, they can go right on towards his face. So, and Junaid won't be able to do anything about it. But, you know, Heaven patching himself up. Jerry somehow still surviving, showing some resilience out there, not really giving up without taking a fight. But where is this going to go? Whose favor it's going to end? Who's going to walk home with that coveted chicken dinner?
Haven taking a little bit of chip damage from the zone there, but soon going to be making it inside. But the zone is still moving. Haven, you need to keep moving, my man. You cannot be stopping here, because if you do, the zone's going to be cutting out a lot, and it's going to be electrocuting you way too much. Now, if we take a look at Junaid T and Haven just like riding around each other, just next to each other pretty much a lot. If Junaid T decides to peek out and just do like a little bit of chip damage to himself or him, it's going to be a lot more funny to watch. But as we talk about that, SOB has been eliminated. The team that you wanted to survive and you wanted to win has been completely taken out of the game finally. Now, as we talk about Jerry, though, XCVS Jerry is still in a really fantastic spot. It's a one-on-one situation. Which guy's going to be coming out on top? The nades coming in from Jerry there. Heaven's going to be taking a little bit of damage. He is just going to be keeping on throwing those nades. The utility usage is coming in from point, but at the same time, Jerry is taking a little bit of damage. As we talk about a beautiful nade from Jerry, it's going to be closing the things out. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Oh my goodness, Heaven. He just walked right into his own grave over there. I mean, that nade was not even supposed to connect. Yeah, of course, it would have done some chip damage. But he just walked right into that grenade and just blown up. And Jerry, of course, we've seen this coming out from XCVSC. Wonderful, wonderful performance coming out from these guys. Persistence is the key over here. They've been trying so hard right from the start. And even when in the situation like that, IPG4 Arc, I must still say, they kind of threw this game out because they had the perfect time. They had the numbers. It was a 2v1v1. And Heaven, after knowing the fact that Junaid had kind of smoked his surroundings, should have really gone on top and could have just pushed him. And then both these players can have had their attention onto Jerry. The moment Jerry comes out, we'll take a look at the MVP as we keep talking about what has happened in the final fight. And it has to be Jerry. It deserves that. Jerry was silent. He had that Groza. He had the ghillie suit. So helping him survive in the final circle. And after taking that one player down, I really thought that maybe Heaven would want to eliminate Jerry. But no, he did not do that. Playing the safer route kind of led to this team coming second.
Indeed, as I was talking about, Jerry was definitely doing a lot more work in all these games that we have witnessed so far. 8 kills coming in from Jerry with 1,000 damage at the while as well. 1 assist, not really gonna assist though, but at the same time, yeah, he was able, that just shows that he wasn't really potatoing us at all, and he was able to take down all those kills that he was contesting and going for, which is just a absolute good things for coming in from my side.
Yeah, I mean, even coming back, you know, Soulz of BD, like I said, this team has a lot of potential. They did survive for quite some time, but I do not know what Junaid was even thinking. I think it was just the nerves being rattled. He was just kind of rattled. He did not want to, you know, die off. He did not want to give away his skills. But let's take a look at the top players in the lobby that we had this time around. And Heaven, of course, 6 kills, that's good. Dominic, again, a very promising performance from one of the best players that we have so far in this tournament. And Tanveer also chiming in. So INFE got particle. This was a very good performance from them considering how they've been playing. So early on, they were getting those kills for themselves. They did not have the position points. But this time, that was not the case. They got those kills and they've got the position points. So I think they've kind of end the day on a good note.
Indeed, they are going to be ending the day on a good note. But as we talk about, one thing I can definitely say for sure, we both have lost our bets.
Yeah. So the producer's going to treat us. Which is both, yeah.
The producer has to do everything over there that you guys are sitting behind the scenes. But at the same time, yeah, if we take a look at Heaven as well, he was doing an absolutely fantastic job in what he did as well. Heaven was absolutely one of the best players for them as well. And he has been doing and showing us that what he's capable of, and especially he popped off a lot in that previous in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, let's just quickly seg into the match summary and see how did the numbers come out? 222 longest distance kill, it's okay. I mean, Riedel traveling 13,000 meters, it's all
okay.
right. But Jerry, of course, coming out on top with that 8 kills. That is something that we can really talk about, because XCVS, they've not had the best of the position in the final circles. They did have the numbers though, and everyone just fell down one after the other up until Jerry was in a different position, surviving. He was calm. He's had his heart pumping. He was scared. His position was still not revealed yet. But IPG for Arc, they kind of made a lot of mistakes in those end circle to which they approach. Both these players. I've been always harping about this one thing: conviction. Jedi's position. Where he is. He's dropped that smoke. Just push. Go on him. 2 of your players. He cannot shoot at 2 of the players at the same time. So could have capitalized, could have done a lot, and IPG4R could have, of course, walked off the victory.
Yeah.
But now, let's take a look at the match ranking and see how many points have all these teams gathered.
Indeed, as we take a look at that, XCVS, of course, on that top position as we talk about, securing 26 points. Not really a lot, though, but if we also take a look at the second position, only getting 18 points. So if you take a second place under consideration, the first place definitely has a lot more points. But Blood Legion, as we talk about, of course, they're going to be freezing their spot on the top, and no one's even going to be catching their legs. But yeah, XCVS has definitely moved themselves really on the top on that, with that victory on the leaderboards.
Blood Legion 15 points out from this game as well. I mean, 15 points is really huge considering the kind of a situation that you're in. Already 30 to 40 points ahead of your next competitor. So they've got a few more matches remaining, and I believe this team is gonna stop at nothing. I think the number is 4, and they've already made their way into the regional finals. But in the regional finals, is where they're gonna be tested, as we finally take a look at our Oppo moments of the day and see how these teams battled it out. It was a rather, kind of weird start to the game. So many fights happening here and there. A majority of that being in the Water City area. So PXBS, well, they did try to get out. They did, in fact, get out with the majority of the numbers, but could not survive for long.
Indeed, they couldn't survive for long, but over here, the kill on one shot was a really unfortunate event coming for Avon, though, 1952. But at the same time, Avon, yeah, it was a decent game for them. But yeah, they did get wrapped up like an egg roll in the early events as well. But yeah, they did try their best to survive.
Yeah, I mean, ERZ, TRZ, of course, they kind of, in the first game, they were really good. I mean, they were looking promising. But somewhere down the line, the kind of an expectation that they've built from ourselves, so they're kind of looking a bit off. Now, this is a team that has a huge fragging potential. Now, they really need to work on their positioning yet again. They need to go back to the drawing board. Of course, you've also made your way into the finals. But if you think that playing like this is gonna get you that spot for the PMPL, then, my friends, you are wrong, because you've got amazing teams coming in, inside the finals. The teams that have already qualified in the past, and then they are going to punish you. Who are even better at those mechanical skills. But now, let's take a look at the overall rankings. Let's see how the storyline has been so far after the end of today's games. And Blood Legion almost 32, 33 points lead.
Look at the kills there.
Yeah, 72. No one even close. But look at the positioning points of XCVSC. That's pretty much higher than Blood Legion. So this shows that this team has been really consistent and now has started racking up kills.
Indeed. I mean, XCVS has been playing really good, as we talked about. Yeah, that strategical gameplay is really intact. But at the same time, yeah, the teams that are really aggressive are making them aggressive as well. They are making them thirsty for blood. Because it's like when someone is aggressing you from themselves, you're not just going to be sitting there trying to back off. You have to fight. You have to face the things that are coming in front of you. And there's just no way that you're just going to be playing passive while the enemy team is just playing aggressive. You have to take your stand. You have to keep your respect and ego up. And you have to just go up against it.
The best part about being on top and being entirely the king of the hill is that everyone is below you. And that's a good view, of course, but at the same time, we know that XP Blood Legion, they've qualified. ERZ, TRZ, they've qualified. So they can, make those risky games. There's no chance on earth that they cannot make it to the regional finals anymore. So they're pretty much qualified with the points that they've already collected for themselves. Now, with just, a handful number of games remaining, I'm going to see some pure aggression, some fearlessness in the gameplay, and that has already been on display from the players of Blood Legion. But ERG, TRG are yet to try and go for that, because now this is the time, because once you make it to the finals, the points are going to be reset. You're not going to get anything extra out of that. Of course, we all love the money, but what do you have to lose from around here? I think more than the money, it's about the pride, it's about that slot for the PMPL.
Indeed, PMPL is a really massive event, and even in the world it's being praised a lot. So if you're going to be solidifying a slot for yourself in the PMPL, indeed it's going to be increasing a lot of repetition points, while at the same time a lot of just respect overall.
Yeah, of course. Now let's take a look at those individual players, the kill leaders that we have so far. And I'm not really surprised from what I'm really witnessing over here. And Dominic, 26, Gyro, 25. We've got Mamba with 24, and Jerry also being the new entry here with those 21 kills. But once we take a look at damage, yes, I was just coming at that. 5,136 coming out from Mamba.
Massive numbers, Mamba. What are you doing? You're just slaughtering everybody, and you're just digging the bullets in their body like it's nothing. Mamba, beautiful plays though. But Dominic, with those solid number of kills, 26 kills, even decent amount of damage. Dominic is just absolute eluded it.
I mean, yeah, Dominic has been there for his team every single time. He's the player that relies heavily on positioning himself at a good spot and taking his enemies down. We did get to see that glimpse of brilliance, the way we got kind of like, 2 kills at barely surviving at 10 HP, just one on the peak of it. Had it been any other player, you get that one knock and you tend to, kind of get back, and then you go in for that first aid when you're so low. But no, he did not give up. He knew that he's taken that damage, so he's putting his bodies on the line. He's at the same time making sure that he's got a good cover. So that's the sign of a really good player. And of course, a result of that, he's right on top. But then we have Gyro coming in, who is a cold-blooded killer. He does not care about positioning. He just goes in. He's so confident about his aim. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally done with the games for our evening lined up for you guys as we head off for the close. And tomorrow we're gonna meet again with different groups, and that's gonna be an action-packed show. So good night, bye-bye, take care.
Let's get it.